some dudes out here. Mr. Yeager, whatever his name is.
His name's Dale, first of all.
Dale Yeager. He's a criminal analyst, and I think this jerk-off knows him, so that doesn't mean anything to me, but we're going to bring him in.
I think I've met him.
Are you the guy he's calling a jerk? I would never call you
I think I've met him before through my criminal dealings.
Oh, your criminal dealings, Mr. CSI.
Oh, God. No. I'm going to
America's Most Not Wanted.
Ronnie, either way, he's going to be analyzing some members of the staff.
Yeah, good. Let him analyze me, because I'm off my fucking rocker.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
You're
right.
an easy case
Yeah,
study.
you think I know? Dude, you don't think I know I'm going to be analyzing this fucking deal? Think I'm stupid?
Dale?
Hi, how are you?
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm alive, so it's good. It's hot.
You're here to do some analysis.
Profiling, yes.
Profiling.
Hi, Lisa.
Were you asked to come here? How did this all come about?
Wolfie had talked to Gary and Will about it, so
Okay.
they had asked me to come in and profile some of the staff. I guess they're going to do a game out of it. I'm going to talk about the Colorado shooting, some things people don't know, and going to talk about forensic psychology.
Are you familiar with the Stern Show staff? Is there any?
Oh,
Are
yeah.
there any?
Been listening since '85. So.
Okay, so you have. Are there any inclinations that you're having about who might be criminal or have criminal tendencies?
No, they're all fired now.
All right, man.
Casey's gone and Artie's gone, so it's not an
good
issue
luck.
anymore. Well, thank you very much.
Have fun today.
All right,
Dale.
take care.
All right, thanks, man.
All right, so the way we presented this segment to this guy is he wrote down profiles of, I think it's like 6 people. And then the idea was he was just going to read them, and then you guys were going to guess as to who he was referring to.
Okay. Is there anything about him that's particularly interesting?
He said one thing that is great is he said that Ronnie really annoys him and that he's not qualified to be your security guy. He doesn't know who could have trained him. He was just really serious about it.
If he's doing his descriptions and we're trying to guess, should I hold off on the Ronnie discussion until or can I talk to him up front about that?
You may want to wait.
Right.
Hey, let me bring in this FBI dude. I think he's an FBI guy. He was a former FBI guy. Maybe not.
Well, make up your mind.
I don't know.
Does this guy have credentials or not?
He's a criminal behaviorist.
All right, what does that mean?
And he's a big deal. Hey,
Who
my
does he
man,
work for?
this is Dale Yeager, everybody. Did you write a book or something? Oh, good for you.
Did anybody read it?
I just went on Kindle, Amazon.
All right.
Okay, good for you.
It's
Dale
on
Yeager's
Bullet.
book, 3 Myths About Bullying, What Every Parent and Grandparent Should Know to Protect Their Children and Grandchildren, is available now at Amazon.com. And Dale even has a website. It's called seraph.net, seraph.net.
Yeah.
Seraph. What's seraph?
It's Hebrew.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's the root word for seraphim, the highest order of angels.
Oh, shit. All right, good
What
for
are we
you.
up to there?
Yeah, I don't know,
what kind of name is that?
It looks good on a T-shirt, Robin. Hi, how are you?
I'm okay.
Dale, tell me about your life here. Were you an FBI profiler?
No, I did not work
I
for
don't know
the
where I
FBI.
got the word FBI from. But you're what is a profiler?
Well, I'm a criminal behavior analyst,
Right.
and profiling is one thing that I do.
Now, who would you do this for?
Well, I teach for the Justice Department. So I teach here in New York for the DEA,
right,
for the feds, down in Puerto Rico, New Jersey, all over the United States, Wisconsin. I train law enforcement in advanced interrogation.
I see. Do you have a waterboard, anybody?
No, you don't have to do that. You want to make them your friend.
Ah, that's the key.
So you're
huh?
good
That's the
cop.
key. Oh,
Yeah.
well, no, there is no good cop, bad cop.
Like, in other words, if I committed a crime and you think I did it,
yeah, you'll talk to me.
Because you're a good guy and you're like, hey, you'll be my friend.
And I'll manipulate your unconscious mind.
Wow.
I'll get in there. I'll walk around.
Is it almost like a hypnotist in a way?
No.
No. You just know the questions to ask?
Well, I don't do pop psychology. Carl Rogers, Maslow, you're okay, I'm okay.
Right,
I'm
right,
a Freudian. So just like your psychiatrist.
Right.
It's really psychotherapy when you do analysis on someone.
Are you manipulating me right now?
Absolutely not.
No, thank you.
You're too good at it.
Please do.
Did you
Feel
like
free.
Law and Order Criminal Intent?
Oh, don't start. Please don't get me started. Those shows, please stop watching those shows.
What is wrong with those shows?
They're inaccurate. Nothing happens in 48 minutes.
Right. All right, but you understand it's a TV show.
I understand
They
that. I
can't
got that.
have it going on forever.
And so
Silence of the Lambs was a very good film.
how do you learn your craft? How did you learn this?
I went to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center
Right.
in Glencoe, so I trained there for several years. And then I had training in D.C. through the Justice Department.
And forgive me, but I don't understand what it is you do. In other words, let's say I hire you. What do I need you to do?
Well, a team of detectives are going to interrogate someone. I write the interrogation questions.
All right, so in other words, John Benet Ramsey was just killed, let's say. Okay, well, let's go back in time.
You're going to go back there, huh?
It's a case everybody understands.
I worked on the original case.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah.
Were you called
in the 90s?
Were you called in to try to question the parents?
I wrote an analysis of the ransom note for religious themes for the DA, and then they asked me about a year later to write a psych profile on Patsy.
With the mom.
Which she did not like. I ended up in her book that her and her husband wrote.
Did you interview her?
No, you can't talk to people when you profile them.
Because they lawyer up, though, sometimes, and you can't talk to them.
With Patsy, my job was to write questions that would make her angry, because people will blurt things out when they're angry.
Right.
Because when you saw her on TV, she was heavily medicated.
Right. So who used your questions when they
the detectives team.
And what was one of the questions you wrote to make her angry?
I talked about Jesus and guilt and sin, because she was a very religious person.
So you figured that might get to her?
Well, it did. She threw a chair, so...
I see. Was it
what does that tell you?
What was the question? Do you know specifically which one she threw a chair at?
I forget which one they were at. I think it was the third question in.
Right.
And she got very angry, stood up, and
It was about Jesus.
About Jesus and forgiveness, and do you believe that when you commit a sin that God will forgive you? And she was like, where are you going with this? Because she was being interviewed. She couldn't be interrogated because she wasn't arrested.
So the mom and dad were cleared of all wrongdoing?
No, they weren't.
They were not?
No, they weren't.
You still think they had something to do with it?
Here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to be very candid today, but it's an open murder investigation, so please understand, Howard, there's some things I can't talk about. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
In my personal opinion, the evidence is very clear that Patsy killed her. Killed her daughter.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
But the law
having
has
worked on
ever. Let's be fair to her memory. Isn't she dead now?
Yeah, she's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you came to that conclusion based on what? The evidence you looked at?
The evidence. Yeah, I worked on the case. Everybody else is giving opinions about this case. They never saw the case file.
What was the thing that made you believe that she had done it?
I can't talk about the evidence.
I see.
Sorry.
But that's your belief. Did you write about that in your book?
No.
No.
I've turned down a book offer about that. I didn't want to deal with it anymore. It was the only case I ever worked on that was never adjudicated, never went to trial.
Didn't they find some guy who confessed to it?
No.
Memory?
We had already interviewed him back in the 90s. The DA that brought that up and went to find him, she took all of our research and put it in a storage locker and said that we were all biased.
There was no guy from Thailand?
No.
Yeah. There was a guy.
He was cleared back in the 90s.
He
if
was
she had
cleared,
taken the time to read the information.
I see. So it's still considered an open
It is
case
an open
that was
murder
never solved.
investigation in Colorado, yeah.
Wow. And since then, the woman has died. Was that frustrating to you because of your beliefs? Yeah.
Because this little girl deserved justice. And my son was the same age as John Benet at the time of the murder.
Right. So you took it to
as a
heart.
parent, it really bothered me.
So you really know your stuff.
Can you tell us what you think the reason for, was it like an anger thing?
Jealousy?
An accidental?
No, it wasn't jealousy. It was she felt that she was losing her daughter, control of her daughter. And that's all I can say. It had nothing to do with jealousy.
That's your opinion.
That's my opinion, yes.
Right.
And the opinion of the original team that worked on it. Steve Thomas wrote a book, if you want to read a great book about that case.
And you felt that was an accurate book?
Absolutely. He was the chief detective. I mean, I worked for him.
So you really know your stuff. You've been a criminal behavior analyst since 1988. You work in criminal psychology, forensic psychology, sex crimes, crime scene forensics, and domestic terrorism analysis.
Yes.
So, I mean, you know your stuff.
Yes.
Are you a top expert?
For the Justice Department, I'm a subject matter expert, yes, for the Hyde and the McLaughlin programs.
It's impressive. You've also been on the Oprah show. Why were you on that show?
Talking about date rape.
I see.
She didn't like what I had to say.
What did you say?
I said that people make excuses for people, and that most people don't need a hug. They need a good swift kick in the behind and told to get their act together.
Referring to what?
Coddling, people being coddled, and we got away from the date rape thing and started talking about pop psychology.
Oh, you're talking about raising people?
Yeah, how
raising
parents
kids.
raise children, they're codependent with them, like Wolfie's interviews. They always
Right.
drive me crazy.
They do.
Yeah, like they drive you crazy.
Does our show drive you crazy?
I've been listening since '85.
All right, so
I grew up with you people.
So this is what Wolfie actually.
Oh, well, then I just dispute everything you just said.
Wolfie, any guy who listens to us can't know what he's talking about. In fact, because you're so highly credentialed, I became interested in you because Wolfie suggested you come on the show because you have profiled some of the people on our show. Is that correct?
Yeah, about a year ago. To keep up my chops, I only work as a consultant on about 6 or 7 criminal cases a year.
Right.
So to keep my, you got to use it or you lose it. So I did it just for fun about a year ago.
Would it be a fun game right now if you were to describe a analysis of a person and we try to guess who that person is?
Yes.
Would that work?
Some people are going to be very unhappy. I have 6
I don't
profiles in my pocket.
Robin, would you like to play with us?
I would love that.
I would love it too. I like this game. All right, here he is, Dale Yeager. His
right.
book, 3 Myths About Bullying, What Every Parent and Grandparent Should Know. You can check out Dale's website at seraph.net, seraph.net. He is a expert profiler. He has trained the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center from 2005 to 2008. He has multiple Justice Department clearances. He is one of the only 60 forensic profilers in North America. And, more impressively, he's been on Oprah, which is everyone. So, I assume these profiles are highly accurate.
Oh, they're very accurate. People aren't going to like them, but they're accurate.
All right, describe person number 1, and we'll see if we can guess. Fred, are you in playing on
Absolutely.
this one? Yeah.
A conflicted person unable to transition from a previously successful career to a modestly successful position now. A chameleon-like personality who adjusts behavior depending on the people they are currently spending time with. Continued attempts at resurrecting the perceived success of the previous career. Insecure about physical image. Vacillates between fashion that covers up and fashion that enhances gender.
That is Sal Gubernale.
Well, he didn't have a successful career before.
Well, I think that this guy's confused.
Let me think. Is that Sal, you think?
Well, that's my opinion.
I mean, it's a terrible profile, right, Fred? Who had a lot of success?
I have a
and now
guess,
has-
but is it? I'll just ask one. Can I ask one question?
Don't peek, Fred.
No, I'm not peeking. I can't even see. I can't even see.
Okay.
Is this someone who used to work with the show?
No, they're currently here.
Currently here.
They're outside.
Holy shit.
Wow.
I'm telling you, it's Sal.
Is Robin right?
Incorrect.
Oh,
Incorrect.
you're kidding.
All right, Robin, your guess is no good.
All right.
I actually didn't profile Sal.
Oh,
Wow.
interesting.
Well, that's
Who
one
wants
we
to do
need.
that? That's frightening.
Wait. Currently here.
Currently here.
Transitioning from a successful career to a less
You had a successful career, Robin.
And this is
you were
What are you talking about?
you were in the military. You were an Air Force captain.
I've had 50 careers.
I'm going to
true.
take a really shitty guess. If it's someone who's currently on staff,
Yeah.
is it John Lieberman?
No.
No.
Jesus.
Who the hell could profile him? Who the hell had a successful career? Everyone here
When
is
you
such
find
a
out,
loser.
when you find out, it'll make sense.
Really?
I never had a successful
who
career
else
except for
could
this.
it be?
Key is the last. The key is the
Can
last.
I hear the last sentence again?
Insecure about physical image, vacillates between fashion that covers up and fashion that enhances gender.
Enhances gender.
I don't have a clue. Who is it?
Lisa G.
Lisa G.
Whoa.
You know, Jim McClure, who's sitting here
That's
with
interesting.
me, figured it out.
He said Lisa G.
Yeah.
Now read that again about her.
A conflicted person unable to transition from a previously successful career to a modestly successful position now. A chameleon-like personality who adjusts behavior depending on the people they are currently spending time with. Continued attempts at resurrecting the perceived success of the previous career.
Right. She's always trying to tell you how.
Well, the sweet and greet.
Right. Wow. You think she's a 30D? I guess you're not an
That's
expert.
not for me to talk about.
All right. Who's the second person?
All right, ready?
I wonder, Lisa, are you happy with that or unhappy with it? I guess we should
Is
hear
Lisa
from Lisa.
there?
She'll yell at me probably.
Interesting. You profiled Lisa. Lisa, how do you feel about that? You're having a hard. By the
I
way,
knew it was me right away.
you did.
Did you?
Are you
Sat
having a
in
hard
there
time?
when it's me.
Is he accurate? But let's be honest. Is he accurate that you had a hard time transitioning from being a morning show host
No.
to now being on the Howard 100 News team?
No. I did have a hard transition when I went from Hot 97 to my next job.
Do you vacillate between sexy clothing and clothing that covers up your gender?
No, I think I pretty much dress the same every day. I don't think it's
I
one
think
way
you
or the
cover up
other.
your gender every day. It's
In more informal type situations, like on red carpet, she wears
dresses-
things that
She
enhance
dolls herself
gender.
Well, I'm not
I
in
see.
studio, so yeah, that
right.
makes sense.
All right, interesting. Anything else to say about Lisa while she's here?
No, we had a
she-
good conversation
Is
about
she well
profiling.
adjusted?
Who, Lisa?
Yeah.
Is any of us? I don't think so.
Sorry, Lisa.
You know what
you're
I
not-
asked him?
not-
I said, who here would go postal? That's
And
what
I said
want
they're
to
all
know.
fired, so you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Do you think there's anybody here who is dangerous?
No,
No. Okay.
they're all gone.
Okay.
They're
There
all
were some
gone.
people
Casey's
who
gone.
were.
Casey's gone.
I called Gary about Casey years and years ago, before he was ever in trouble, and I said, this guy's a violent person. And whoever answered the phone, I don't think it was Gary, said, all right, yeah, we'll let Howard know. I go, trust me, I do this for a living. You got to get this guy out of the store. I'm telling you, he's gonna kill somebody.
Well, he never killed anyone. You were wrong.
Not yet.
He's a good man.
Well, it's all relative, isn't it?
All right, Lisa, you were the
Okay.
first one up. Lisa not upset with her profile. Go ahead.
right.
Profile
All right.
number 2.
Next one. A person raised in a traditional ethnic setting, including a traditional marriage profile, meaning they went from adolescence and got married in a traditional way. Because of a change in profession, this person slowly assumes a non-traditional lifestyle, which includes sexual paraphilias such as swinging.
No, I'm thinking.
Now, do you want me to explain what a paraphilia is?
Yeah.
Okay, a fetish is when you sexualize an object, like a shoe fetish.
Right.
Okay.
Sexual paraphilia is any kind of sexual behavior outside the norm of oral sex and intercourse. So bestiality, it's an action,
Right.
or an activity.
Didn't
Swinging.
Didn't Scott once say he was a swinger or something?
Yeah.
But come on, it can't be him. I mean, he's pretty. He doesn't sort of. He didn't do that out of fame.
The key clue is the second statement.
Which is, say that again.
Because of a change in profession, this person slowly assumes a non-traditional lifestyle, which includes sexual paraphilias such
Benji.
as swinging.
It's Benji.
No.
All right, I'm wrong. Robin, you want to take a guess?
I'm still processing the information. A change in professions.
Yeah, you got a point there. That wouldn't be Benji. Who is it, Fred?
Again, I've been wrong 2 times already, so why not go for a third? I'll say Sal.
No.
I'm going to say it's Ronnie.
He said he
Ronnie.
didn't profile
Ronnie,
that.
Whoa.
right?
Ronnie.
It's Ronnie,
Ronnie.
right? Of course.
Think about it.
You're right.
He did.
Because, like, he went berserk.
He tried to become you.
Oh, I think he thinks he is me because he watches me all the time,
Yeah.
and then sometimes, sort of unconsciously, he starts doing things like.
I'm waiting
me.
for him to come in and yell at me.
Ronnie disturbs you, huh?
No, he doesn't disturb me.
But
It's
what?
just that's his behavior.
Say it again. What his behavior is?
He went from a traditional lifestyle,
Right. He
traditional
was a
marriage
limo
profile,
driver. He had
got
no fame.
divorced,
Right.
is now
Simple
dating
family
a
man.
very significantly younger people.
Right.
He's hanging around in strip clubs,
Right.
and obviously a swinger, in my opinion.
Right.
I think he profiles as that.
Right.
So he went from a traditional lifestyle to a very untraditional lifestyle, which includes sexual paraphilia.
Right.
Wow.
Well, that's good. That's a
Not
good.
a bad guy. It's just who he is.
Yeah. Okay. That's who he is.
So
Anything? Is he? You're in law enforcement. Is he qualified to be my bodyguard?
don't even start with that, because
why?
I will go off.
What do you
my
mean?
head will pop off my shoulders.
Whoa. What?
Seriously. You know, I sit there listening every day.
Go
you know,
ahead.
since '85. That's a long time, right?
Right.
You know, I take it very seriously when someone says, I'm going to protect someone's life. Now, you and I are dads. I have 2 children, daughter and son. You have 3 daughters. You're married. You have a wife.
Right.
When you're going to take responsibility for someone's security, you need to have proper training.
Right.
Whoever trained him ought to be shot.
I don't know that he
think
ever
anybody
had.
trained him.
Well, he says he had training, and I've watched his behavior. For example, Elliot Offen was freaking out one day years ago, and Ronnie's standing there with his hands down at his hips.
Right.
First rule in executive protection is you keep your hands at your heart. For 2 reasons. One is there's where your arms are strongest, and secondly, you prevent yourself from getting sucker punched.
Right.
So right there tells me he wasn't properly trained.
Are you a trained fighter?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a Matu Guru in Filipino Kali and a Sifu in Wing Chun Kung Fu.
No shit.
Well, that's how I met Wolfie. I had no idea who he was.
You're a Sifu?
Wolfie is
I
into
didn't know
kung
that.
fu.
Oh, I'm not a Sifu.
You have a
I
brown
eat
belt.
seafood.
You
I
have
do.
a brown
I do.
belt. Yeah.
Well, I was on my way to a brown.
I know a 5-year-old girl who's on the way to her black. Howard.
Listen,
What the fuck
All
is
right,
wrong
take
with
it
you?
easy.
Don't even get me started on that either. That's just
Ronnie,
ridiculous.
come in here and defend yourself.
Oh, here we go. Here we
Dale
go.
says you are not qualified.
I've got a question I can ask him to prove my point. By
Okay,
the way,
good.
Because
All
he
right.
won't get the answer.
Where
What
is
are you
Ronnie?
going to do
Bring
about
him in
this,
here.
Howard?
Nothing.
What are you talking about? I eat seafood.
Howard won't do
Ronnie
anything
tells
about
me
it.
he's qualified.
Well, okay.
Where is he? Where is he?
He's so funny because he's standing there. They got the camera on him, right?
Yeah.
So I said, "Is he going? Is he going?" Yeah, he's going in. So he starts to walk here, and then he just makes a left, and I'm like, Ronnie, and he just didn't answer me.
Well,
so
why won't he defend himself?
I think somebody just got here. I think maybe so. Let me go check. I'll get him.
All right, go ahead.
You think he's busy?
You think he's busy?
But it's weird because I know he heard me.
Well, he's an angry guy.
My issue with him is this training issue.
Right.
Take it seriously. You're protecting people. I ran an executive protection team for Capitol and A&M Records back in the 80s and early 90s. We dealt with death threats. So if a recording artist had death threats, we went and took care of that, worked with local law enforcement. I've done that. It's not like theory to me.
Dale's challenging that you don't have enough training. What do you think of that?
Whatever you say, dude. It's okay.
Well, what are you getting all bent out of shape?
I'm not getting bent out of shape.
Why don't you talk to him about
The guy
it?
has his opinion, and I'm fine with it. I got nothing else to say.
You said you had a question for Ronnie.
He won't answer it.
Oh, he'll answer it. Sure he will.
Any executive protection profession would know this, Ronnie.
Yeah.
What does every executive protection or bodyguard carry with them at all times related to gender?
Related to gender?
Yep.
Ronnie don't even know what gender
A
means.
tampon.
Yeah, tampon.
Mouthwash?
Tampon. Actually, a tampon.
Ron, do we know the answer to this?
It's a tampon.
It is?
Yeah, you plug up gunshot wounds and knife wounds with it.
No shit.
It'll stop
Are you
people.
carrying a
Good,
tampon
well done,
Do you
right
have a
now,
tampon
Ron?
with you?
Yeah, I have a tampon. I carry one all the time.
But wait a second. That is a good point.
It'll
In other words,
stop bleeding, yeah.
if somebody gets hit,
Yeah, you plug it up. It's sterile.
What do you
Ronnie's
think
gonna
of
be
that?
standing there
I
with
think
his
it's great.
finger.
Should always carry those with you.
I carry a
I'll-
sanitary
I'll-
have you
belt.
ever taken any kind of course in protection or?
I got to guess that.
No, seriously, have you? That means no.
There he goes.
That means no. It means he has no training.
He's not a bad guy. He's not
What?
a bad guy. I don't
Where's
think he's a
your
bad
tampon?
I'm
guy.
not saying I'm a bad.
I just wish you got
If he's
better
unhappy, let him
training.
get somebody else. It's fine with me.
Well,
Where's
I'm
your
not. I didn't
tampon?
say I was unhappy.
He's
I was
not
just
unhappy.
wanted
Why
to
are you
answer the
fucking
question.
grilling me like this?
'Cause I'm
Why are you putting me
curious.
up against the wall?
I'm curious.
I fucking protected your life. You remember that?
That's
okay?
right. But why are you being
Leave me
uptight now?
alone. What are you busting my balls for?
Who's busting your butt? Wow,
It's like
what a
pulling
baby.
a pin on a hand grenade.
So what do you make of that? What you just saw?
He's upset.
Why?
He doesn't want to be held accountable. He does not like to be held accountable for anything.
Why is he so ashamed to answer your question?
Not ashamed. He just doesn't feel it's beneath him, I think. That's how he
But
profiles.
what would you? But what? You're a profiler. I'm asking you your expert opinion on what you just saw. Is he too hot-headed to be a security guy?
Well, you remember the movie Roadhouse?
Yeah.
And Patrick Swayze's character says, you don't have the temperament for the trade?
Right.
That's my answer. You can't be a hothead and do this kind of security work. You have to be very calm, very
Right.
relaxed. You got to be able to calm people down, not aggravate them.
Right.
But I don't know, with him it's hard to tell what's shtick and what's real.
Oh,
when
that
I
was.
met him,
I don't think there is.
no,
shtick.
I don't think that was shtick, but it's hard to tell.
So you got to be calm and you got to carry tampons.
And he doesn't
Yeah.
he doesn't do either one of those.
Think about it. Think about it. What
He's bad at both
How are
of
you
them.
going to stop the bleeding? It's
Right.
an age-old technique that's used
It's
by
true.
everyone. Yeah.
And so, wow.
Yep. Ready for the next one?
Do you have a tampon on you now, or you're
No.
not working right
No,
now?
I'm
That's
not
right.
working. I'm
All right, go
relaxed.
ahead. All right, give me another one. Boy, that was a good one.
All right. Because of a neurotic parent, this person developed sexual paraphilias. But after this period of time in their younger years, this person sought out a flexible mate who allowed some of their deviated sexual behavior, eventually created a traditional and stable lifestyle to counter the emotional chaos of their childhood.
I always wait to see me in this, but that's definitely not me.
Yeah, you didn't have a
That could
neurotic
be.
parent.
Well, I had neurotic. I had a neurotic parent, I probably two. But I'm saying I didn't.
That could be Gary.
That would be my guess.
She's right. It's Gary.
It is?
Gary, yeah.
But Gary didn't. You said the sexual thing. He seeked out a.
He sought out a partner who would be flexible with his deviated sexual behavior. Yeah.
I don't see Mary.
He didn't stop.
I don't think that Mary's that flexible.
He
I'm
didn't
not sure I understand that.
In my opinion, he didn't stop what he was doing when he was dating. We know all those stories.
Right.
When he got married. This is not reality.
Oh.
But like, what do you consider deviant sex?
Anything other than, it's not deviant, it's deviated.
What is it? So what does that
anything
mean?
outside of oral sex or intercourse is considered a paraphilia. Now, some are good and some are bad. Bestiality is bad. Anal sex can be good or bad.
So is a hand job considered?
No, that's considered part of foreplay.
So what would be some of the things that would be
anal sex?
Keep going.
Urine, peeing, spanking,
something.
I think listen, I think he's a little off. I
do?
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, but maybe you were. I think you thought Mary was
doesn't mean
wild
anything
sex.
bad about your wife.
I don't think I even did talk about doing that stuff when I was like. That's not stuff I talked about doing on the air. Now maybe you think that because of my personality, you see that, or is it something you heard?
It's just that whatever.
The only two things I ever talked about on the air that were weird like that, I guess, were anal sex and the girl who threw up.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
that was.
And what about,
by the way,
what about the pornography that you watch?
Well, that is more of a joke.
Well, really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
No, that was.
So
everybody seems to be
You've
taking.
watched no deviated sexual behavior pornography in the last 10 years in your personal life.
Of course
He
I do.
loves
I think everybody watches deviated.
He's very close to Animal.
Doesn't make him a bad person. I'm just saying that
I mean, he's like an animal.
I mean,
when you have a neurotic parent, it's going to affect your sexuality.
I see.
I will be upfront with him in the sense that.
By the way, I admire you for not getting defensive. Ronnie got so defensive.
No, I'm up for talking about it.
I mean, wow, when
he was talking about it, I go, I think that sounds like me, but I don't know about the deviated sexual thing. But like,
let's go to one more. Let's go to another one.
Right.
Stay in here for Gary. See if you can identify the person. Go ahead.
All right. So, grew up with a neurotic parent. This instability led to sexual insecurities and substance abuse. Societal conflicts fed these insecurities and negative behaviors. This person followed a traditional path through adolescence to adulthood. Issues of social and sexual insecurities created problems of intimacy with family members. Currently has fear and intimacy issues which prevent the elimination of insecurities and emotional stability.
It's me.
That's Howard.
Yeah, I think that's accurate.
May I say something to you?
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
hey, don't say anything to me. Hey, you can't say anything.
Say this.
Why should? Maybe I'll get better.
I want to say this as a, I guess the best word to use is friend and as a professional.
Good. Go ahead.
You're looking at one of the biggest fans of psychotherapy.
Go ahead.
I did it for 5 years every week. It saved my life, along with the Dr. Sarno book. Thank you, by the way, for that.
You're welcome.
I've given 60 of them out.
Let me hear your advice.
You are holding back in your therapy. And many years ago, you told your psychiatrist you wanted to stop, and he said no. And he was absolutely right, because you're holding back, and I can prove it to you.
Go ahead.
You're a married man using condoms.
Right.
What are you, a sailor?
No.
I mean, anybody that I know that's married that uses condoms has intimacy issues. You are keeping, and just bear with me. I'm trying to help you.
Go ahead.
Here.
I'm not Ronnie. I'm not getting uptight.
You got to give that up, because ultimately you're keeping one foot back in your OCD.
But he doesn't want to get his wife pregnant.
Listen. I'm going to tell you something. There are many ways to stop pregnancy that don't involve the pill.
Yeah, but there's only one that a man can control.
Now, listen, let me ask you.
And I don't want my wife to have to take the pill, and I don't want to have to put an intrauterine device, which
you don't have to
dangerous.
do that either. There's many other ways. Humor me.
What are the other ways?
Do me a favor.
Pulling out?
Do me a favor.
Go ahead.
Raise your right hand.
Go ahead.
Put it down.
Go ahead.
So you have cognitive function. You can control your body.
Yes.
If you really worked at it, you could control that.
But
So
she might be pregnant 5 times before he figures it out.
Yeah, right. What if I fucked it up? I mean, Robin's right.
Robin,
I mean,
what is he, Amish?
I don't want. Listen,
I
if
think
my
that-
wife is a Catholic who says to me, if she was pregnant,
Yeah.
she would never get an abortion for herself. She believes in the right for other people to have them.
Yeah.
But for herself, she doesn't believe in it.
Well, you're going to have a child. I'm going to tell you right now. Welcome to the reality.
My wife's 40 years old.
You're going to have a child.
What are you saying?
I'm telling you there are 2 types of females that don't have children. One is they have serious sexual trauma in their childhood.
Go ahead.
She doesn't profile that way.
That's right.
Or they have serious family dysfunction in their childhood, which she doesn't profile that way.
That's right.
So at some point she's going to want to do that. Why do you think all this stuff with the dogs? It's an ad hoc child.
The dog is. Well, we know that.
Yeah.
Our dog was our child.
I think eventually it's going to happen. But let's get back to the issue of OCD.
Right.
You can't keep one foot in, one foot back. I think it's partially the pregnancy issue, but I've thought about this for a long time, Howard. I think a lot of it has to do with you still clinging to pieces in the past. And I would beg of you.
What do you mean pieces in the past?
Pieces of the OCD life that you lived.
I still have a lot of OCD issues.
Well,
I struggle with it every day.
Your wife loves you dearly.
Yes, she does.
That's obvious.
And I love her.
But she tolerates this. And at some point you have to say, you know what, I got to be completely healed before I die.
Right.
And I'm just out of.
So if I stop using condoms, would I be healed in your opinion?
I think it would help a lot.
You do?
I really do.
Interesting. Well,
do you really grab a condom every time?
Not every. Listen, actually, no.
See, I didn't think you could.
I think it's off and on.
That's right.
But don't toy with that.
But for the most part, I am very consistent.
But in psychotherapy, you can't hold back. It's an excellent if you have the money and time.
But I'm not holding back.
But
how do you know I'm holding back?
That shows holding back if you use it. Do you still use them?
Yes, of course I do. That's our birth control.
Not for married people.
Gary.
I used condoms when I was married because my wife was on the pill and she didn't want
married.
to. I mean, exactly. But it's a
Freudian slip. Freudian slip.
It was like a health thing. My wife got to a certain age where she didn't want to take the pill anymore.
Right.
So does that mean?
So you use condoms, right?
Right.
And
you use them.
And I would. You don't use them now.
Sometimes.
But
what do you mean sometimes?
Yeah. See.
Sometimes I don't.
And both of you have something in
my
common.
dad used condoms.
Both of you have something in common.
Yeah. The first line for
the
both of us was
parent.
Right, yeah.
That creates sexual issues and sexual intimacy issues and germ issues and all that OCD stuff.
How does it?
What would Dr. Sarno say to you about that condom use if he was sitting right here?
He'd say you're smart. your wife and you don't want to have a kid, so why would you use a condom? But we don't want to.
Most married couples don't use any contraception.
Not true. I don't believe that's true.
Well, I'm telling you right now.
So most Catholic people who don't want to have not Catholic people who don't want to have kids who are married,
I don't buy
won't use a condom. You don't think?
No. I didn't say that. I said most. If you look at the studies from the federal government. The dirty little secret is that about 70% of couples, after they've been married 20 years, do not use anything at all. They just pull out or finish when they're outside.
Huh? Maybe you're right. I don't know. I'll be open to that.
And you understand? I'm saying this out of kindness of my heart.
No, I'm not taking offense.
I think you've made great strides.
Right.
And I'm
not taking offense, but I know my dad used condoms.
But ask yourself the question: are you keeping your foot in the still back in that world?
My dad looked at me and said, "I don't want another one of these."
But see, I'm in the same boat as you. Whereas Mary said, if I were to get pregnant, I would not have an abortion.
Right.
So
and you don't want another kid.
Yeah. So to me, that says, well, I don't want to have another kid.
So
but why did you grab them sometimes and sometimes not?
Because I'm like a monkey and I can't.
Yeah, but the two of you. But think about this. But think about this. Between the two of you, how many children do you have?
5.
So
between the two of us,
so you've produced good-looking, smart children that are very stable people.
Right.
So there's no reason why another one, whether you want one or not.
Well,
I understand that.
But you have to raise a kid.
I understand that.
I got it. By accident.
At 52, I think it would kill me to try to raise a child.
Exactly.
What we're talking about is a very selfish act. It's not about what I would produce. It's about me.
I'm 58 years
old.
But
the issue of condoms does indicate. And I'm not alone in this, that there are intimacy issues and contact issues. And you really have to ask yourself, does my wife tolerate it and because she loves me, or am I clinging still to something in the past? One foot ahead,
I'll
one foot
consider
back
that.
is not
I'm not going to
good.
be like Ronnie and fight you, man. Did you see Ronnie run out of here?
Yeah. Let me ask you something, Howard. Does Beth ever object to condom use?
Sometimes she will, but for the most part, she's like, she agrees with me that she doesn't want to take the pill.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, there are other ways.
She does object,
as he said.
Occasionally, but not often. But sometimes she does. Sometimes
one objection is telling you what's going on in the unconscious mind of your wife.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, maybe you're right.
And you know what? The thing with you, the two of you, is it's very obvious. Okay, professionally, that she loves you.
Yes.
This is real.
Oh, I believe so.
And you're very blessed to have that.
And I love her.
Yeah, I know you do.
And by the way, I'm a terrific husband. Sort of.
You are.
I am, right?
That's
You see me
Oh,
better.
Gary thinks you're terrific.
But Gary, that's another issue with Howard. One of my fears is that when you stop the
Go ahead.
radio show,
please
you
make it happen soon.
Listen, well, I know why you signed up, and,
Right.
and it had nothing to do with the radio show. It had to do with these people that you feel responsible for.
Thank you.
But the issue is, I'm worried you're pseudo-agoraphobic at this point. You just don't. You live in a bubble,
Right.
And
I don't like going out.
I see you doing a Howard Hughes at some point.
It will happen, yeah.
See, can I say
no,
something?
Well, she will
it doesn't have
definitely
to happen,
object to the
Howard.
nails.
Can I say something about that? I thought Howard lived in a bigger bubble 15 years ago than the one he lives in now.
Yeah.
I've made
Howard's
some
more
progress.
willing to go out and talk
It's-
to people than
it's
he was
still a
15.
bubble.
Oh, no doubt. But
It
the
is.
bubble's
He's
gotten
right.
bigger.
The profile
When
is
have
right.
you been? When have you been outside the country in the last 10 years?
Oh,
Never
please.
forget it.
That ain't happening.
Bad
I'm talking about Canada or
But
the
we're
Caribbean.
talking. My wife and I are talking about taking a trip to Italy.
Well, they always talk about it. They've been talking about
that
it for
would be
3
good
years.
therapy.
I
for you.
thank God that the reason we didn't go this year is because our dog was old.
Yeah, but what about last year and the year before that?
But now I have no more excuses.
What, Rob, Howard, go to Italy and leave the condoms at home. This would be good therapy for you.
Yeah, and have a baby?
No, he didn't say have a baby.
Well, I mean,
you
you
have
know what? My
control.
wife is hot.
You have control. You have
control.
control.
You ever hear of dribble?
You have control.
You know, guys who pull out.
There's no sperm in the first part of that.
No,
so.
wait a second. When you're fucking, sometimes you have
he
pre-cum.
wants you to have a baby.
Get clipped.
Get clipped? Are you crazy? I'm not letting anybody touch my balls if they can find them.
Howard, was your last trip out of the country was not to the Cannes Film Festival, was it?
Well, no, I went on vacation somewhere, but Mexico. But I'll never go
But
there.
he's like outside of the
don't go there.
continental.
No, I'm not going to Mexico.
We just rescued people from Mexico. Don't go to Mexico.
I've gone to a few resorts, but you know, it's hard, it's almost like being in America.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's the safest thing you can do.
Was that your only trip ever to Europe?
No, I've been to England with Robin, and you know.
Yeah, with the
That was a long time
there
ago.
a couple of
Right.
times.
Yeah, 100
All right,
years
you
ago.
want the next one?
Ken, go ahead. You're on the air.
Here we go.
Yeah, here we go. Go ahead, Ken.
No, I like this guy a lot. I don't necessarily agree with the using condoms because, you know, you don't want kids, you don't want kids.
Right.
But this business with Ronnie, and he really makes the point. I've called Ronnie out twice on the very issues that your good guest here has called him out on. And he'll shout me down, and he'll go all ape shit on a caller. But he cowers in the face of somebody who might know what he's talking about, or Ronnie possibly has a glimmer of belief he knows what
I saw Ronnie get very intimidated by this gentleman.
Yes.
I saw
But
Ronnie run out of the room. You chased him right out of the room.
But a caller, he won't even let you get a word in.
That's his thing. He yells over you.
Yeah, and that just shows he's insecure. But he's not trained. He is a hothead. How many times have you talked about incidents on the road?
I listen. Listen. I don't know why he was so afraid of Dale. I would answer Dale's questions. I'll answer Dale's questions all day. I ain't afraid.
I mean, I just want him to, as a professional, because he does care about you. He loves you. But go get the training.
Right.
I mean, I was just in Brooklyn last year with my VP, Keith
Instead of going to
Mazza,
strip clubs.
training air marshals in tactics.
Right.
And those guys were 26 years old. I'm 52. We were throwing them around the room, and they were like, we really need to know how to handle people. I mean, I do this for a living. I've done it for real.
I
and
think
I'm
what
just
you said
asking
was,
him to
Dale,
get his training.
I think you were absolutely on target. Say, hey, man, go in for some training courses. Why was the guy so frightened of that?
I don't know.
Howard, I don't even think he loves you that much as you're saying. I think he loves the life.
He loves the life.
No, he loves Howard. He's very loyal to him.
All right, let's go to Megan. Megan, go ahead.
Hi, Howard. I have a question. So I also, like the previous caller, get the condom issue. But do you make out with Beth every time you have sex? Because to me, that's a big sign of intimacy.
I don't want to talk about. I don't want to talk about my specific
Nobody
sex
asked you
with my
specific.
wife.
They're
very loving.
Have foreplay?
They're very loving.
Do we have foreplay?
Yeah.
Listen, we have our thing and it works.
But
you don't want to tell us that you have foreplay?
Of course, we have foreplay.
But I do find it interesting, Howard, that you will talk about sex. You'll talk about sex with Beth, but you won't talk about making out with her.
Right, which is
no. Of course, I make out with my wife. What are you kidding me?
Well, then answer the question. What are you making a big deal about it for?
So if we don't make out and we don't have foreplay, let's say we just fuck. What are you saying? There's an intimacy problem?
No, not absolutely not. They're missing the point.
What is the point?
There's 3 types of sex. There's everyday sex, there's quickies, and there's the romantic stuff that goes on for 2-3 hours.
Right.
So that all is relative to.
So if it's all there in some sort of combination, okay.
I don't think you have that issue.
Are you worried? My goodness.
I'm not worried about anything. I'm having a good time.
Howard's having group therapy.
I'm enjoying my life with my wife.
I hear Fred laughing at all this.
What is
me.
this?
I'm not laughing about that.
Sam, go ahead. You're on the air. Thank you, Megan, by the way. Sam, go ahead. You're on the air.
Yeah, Howard, hi. If your wife is ovulating and you have sperm, you didn't have a baby.
That's right.
I don't care if you had a childhood trauma or your family doesn't like you. This guy is crazy. Don't listen to him.
Well, that's what I mean, condom. I mean, I don't know. I was raised that you use a condom, but what do I know?
Yeah, but your dad could have had the same intimacy issues.
All right.
I got 2 more.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
All right, because I got to
Will told
move
me
on.
6.
I didn't realize Jeff was here.
It's up to you. You tell me.
What do you got? You got one more good one? Give me one more good one.
One more good one.
Give me one more good one before we say goodbye.
Let's see. One more good one. Okay. Ethnic issues and family dysfunction led this person to serious social interaction and trust issues from adolescence to early adulthood. This person eventually developed a stable, traditional family life to counter the issues from childhood. Has created an area of their life related to art to express their analytical mind and emotions.
Fred.
Yeah.
Wow.
Say it again. He was what? Because he's got a lot of...
He wants anal intrusion in that.
He developed a stable, traditional family life to counter the issues of instability from childhood.
Ah, yeah, that's true.
And then he created an area of life related to art, his music, to express his analytical mind and emotions.
Good. All right. He's like a Vulcan, that's all.
It's about the most stable profile I wrote.
You know, Fred has turned
Fred is very stable.
Fred has impressed me with his life.
Yeah.
He has overcome a lot.
Yeah.
I'm like one of Jerry's kids.
Well, no.
Your success.
He
you went to
overcame
camp and you came out good.
He overcame a lot. Mostly, when I say a lot, I refer to me and my interaction with him. He overcame that. And he overcame a tough family life. And you're right. He has a very sort of stable existence and has exemplified someone who can overcome a lot of adversity.
He's created a very stable life for himself.
Well,
and I knew tampons were good for gunshots.
That's true.
Good for you. That was
Came
an accident.
up with that right away.
Anyway, Dale Yeager, you've been a fascinating guest.
Thank you.
I'm glad you came by today. I learned a lot about Ronnie.
I learned a lot about you.
And I learned a lot about me. You are an impressive guy, I have to say. You're not a bullshit artist.
So are you.
Thank you to Wolfie for bringing you by. Where is Wolfie? Wolfie, say a quick hello. And I know he came up
Profile Wolfie.
Yeah, well, Wolfie. Dale Yeager's book, 3 Myths About Bullying, What Every Parent and Grandparent Should Know to Protect Their Children and Grandchildren, is available now at Amazon.com. And check out Dale's website at seraph.net. Wolfie, a good call on this guy.
Yeah.
He seems to know what he's doing.
He's very accurate, very opinionated. I thought you would love him.
I liked him a lot, and he blew Ronnie right out the window. What is that? The only guy who couldn't handle it was Ronnie.
The second you brought up his name, he was pouting in the back. He was not going to come in at all.
He's the funniest guy, isn't he?
I think it's security issues. I mean, security issues, obviously. He's worried that he doesn't do a good job, and I think the spotlight was put on him today.
He couldn't handle it.
Definitely.
Couldn't handle it. Wow. Well, Dale, you know your stuff.
Thank you.
And thank you. And Wolfie, later on, I'm going to be playing a interview that Wolfie did with Chick-fil-A. Very interesting stuff about Chick-fil-A. That I'm watching this guy Huckabee on Fox News, and what a character! I mean, former governor.
I wasn't pouting, by the way.
What was that?
Now he's back.
I wasn't pouting.
Oh, here we go.
You ran out like a scared baby. What
I'm
happened
not
to you?
scared,
Everybody's
baby.
here talking to the guy.
Good,
You
I'm
ran
glad.
out.
You can all talk to him. It's fine. I
You
don't
asked
have
one
I don't
question.
have
You
to
ran
talk to
right
him.
out of the room.
I don't have to talk to him if I don't want to
You're so
talk.
defensive.
I don't have to. I'm not defensive.
The guy made a
my
good point. He said he
goodness,
liked
Ronnie.
you. He said, "Hey, if I
Good.
was
I'm glad
Ronnie,
he likes me. I'm happy for him.
he says you should once in a while take a training class."
He doesn't know what I do.
Well, he was trying
He
to
has
ask
no
you, and
idea
you
what I
ran
do,
right
and I
out of
don't
the
have
room.
to tell him what I do.
Ronnie, what do you do?
It's not his business.
Well, what do you do?
I don't do anything.
Do you have Do you
I
have
don't
a training?
do anything.
Do you
I
go
don't
to a
do
training?
anything. If you're not a happy person with me, that's the main line here.
I'm
if
happy,
you're not
but
happy
do
with
you
me,
do any
all
training?
you have to do is say goodbye. It's easy. Okay, it's very easy.
But that's not the
I don't
why
need
are
to
why are you getting attacked?
I don't need to explain myself to this man.
He just
is
said,
nobody to me.
Wait a
Don't
second.
you understand
If a
that?
guy walked up to me and he says, "Hey, I think you and your wife using condoms shows a lack of intimacy," I say, let me consider that. Let me hear what this. He's a guy. He's a well versed in this psychology stuff.
I'm happy for him.
So I go, okay, let me think about it. I don't think it's accurate for me. I don't think I have an intimacy issue, but maybe he's got something there. I'll consider it. So the guy says to you, "Hey, I know Ronnie's in security. I've done all of this stuff."
Right.
Ronnie, you know, I've offered many training classes. What type of training do you take, or do you take any? And you're like, "Fuck you! You're not
I didn't say
happy."
fuck you.
You're like,
I didn't
"You're
say
not
fuck
happy
you.
with me. Get rid of me." You're so defensive, dude. Why don't you just say to the guy, "Have
Why
a
are you
conversation"?
so angry? What are you so angry with me about?
I'm not angry
Look
with
at you. You're blowing up here. Why are you blowing
because
up?
you're weird.
I don't have to talk to this man. He's
No one
not
said
part
you
of my
have
life,
to.
and I don't want to.
No one said you have to.
I don't want to.
I'm wondering why you're so afraid to talk to him.
I don't want to talk to him.
Why?
I got no reason to talk to him.
Do you respect
or
his
him.
credentials?
But Ronnie,
I have no reason to
professionals
talk to him either.
But Ronnie, professionals talk to each other about
I don't
training.
have, sir. I don't have to talk to you.
No, you don't have
and
to.
I don't want to talk to you.
I wasn't trying to have a conflict
Okay.
with you.
I'm not trying to have a conflict.
Do you
I just
see
don't
him
want
get
to. I
into
just don't want
arguments?
to talk to you.
Ronnie, don't be
Plain and
Understand me.
simple.
Why?
Wolfie, I'm not talking to you.
You're being a baby.
There he goes. He's going to throw the headphones
No, I'm
down.
not throwing anything. I don't need to talk to either one of them. What does he
But
know?
why are you
what does he know about me?
I mean, you don't have to talk to anybody, but why are you afraid to talk to these guys?
I don't want to talk to him.
Why?
Okay?
Can you tell me why?
I just don't feel like it.
Some people you do talk to and some you don't.
Yeah, well, I talk
Why
to who I
these
feel
two?
like talking to.
Why these two?
Okay?
He
And
can
it's like
help
every
you.
time that one of these things comes up, it's you who likes to fucking put me on the burner.
Me? The
Yeah,
guy-
and you're happy to do it.
The guy put me on the burner.
You know
Do you
what?
see me getting
No,
upset?
but you're happy to do it because you know it riles me up.
But what
okay?
about me?
And you
He
love
just
doing
put
it.
me- he just put
so
me on the burner.
If you're happy, I'm happy. But if you're not happy with me, then we got a problem.
Did I say I'm?
We have a real
do you
problem.
see what you're doing? Do you see what you're doing?
No, I'm not doing anything.
You're trying to create something between me and you. The guy walks in.
I
He
don't
did a
need
profile
to
of
talk
everyone.
to
You're the
this
only
guy. I
one
don't need to be
upset.
profiled by him.
You're the only one
I've
upset.
been doing a fucking job here for 27 years, dude. I don't need him to tell me anything. If,
No
like
one
I said,
needs any of
if
this.
I've
It's a
been
show.
doing- if I've
Why are
been
you getting
doing
so
the right
upset?
thing, if I've been doing the right thing all along, I don't understand why I have to answer to him.
Man, are you fucked up?
Yeah, I am fucked up.
You're afraid of
According to you,
talking to
I
a guy.
am fucked up.
You're afraid of talking to people.
I talk to who I feel like talking to. And if I don't feel like talking to him,
Roddy,
I talk to
What
my
if you
own
learn
psychiatrist or
something? But what if you
psychologist.
learn
I don't
to
need to talk to this
But
guy.
what if you learn
he knows
something?
nothing about me. Nothing. He comes in here and he thinks he knows about me, but he knows nothing about me.
Roddy,
I'm not a fucking swinger where he ever.
He said he
wherever that
doesn't.
came
He
from.
asked you a question
Where
'cause he
comes-
doesn't
Where
know.
that comes from in his head. That never happened in my life. Being a swinger. Where does he come up with shit like that? I don't have to listen to this man.
I don't know, man.
All right, and I'm not walking out.
Wow.
I'm just telling you, I don't have to explain anything to him. To me, he's nobody. He's just another person on the street.
You sound awfully defensive to me, dude.
Well, I'm sorry.
Wow, you
maybe
are
you should consider
defensive.
getting somebody else to work with you.
Why do you always go there?
Now,
do you
why
not,
are
do you
you
not want to?
firing
Do you
yourself?
want to fire yourself? Then quit.
Obviously, you're not happy.
You're firing yourself.
If you
I'm
keep
happy.
bringing people in
The guy-
to try and fucking pick my head.
I didn't bring this guy in for you, Ronnie. That's another fucking
we
weird
didn't
thing
know
with
who
you.
he was going to profile.
you know
He just
what?
walked in and he came
That's
in and he said he's a
fine.
profile.
But why do you have to keep? Why do I have to come in and defend myself if I
Why
don't
do you keep
want to?
quitting your job?
I'm not
Do you not
quitting.
want to do it?
I'm
You can
not. I
quit.
didn't say I quit.
I never said I was unhappy with you.
Then why
are
do
you hearing
Why
that?
do I have to talk to this guy?
You don't have to, but why are you so
do I
afraid?
have to defend myself?
Why are you
to
so
him?
afraid?
Why do I have to defend
Same
myself?
reason we
to him?
all just
I
did.
don't want to. That's my prerogative. I don't have to fucking
You're
talk
afraid
him.
to talk to him.
Okay, if that's
Admit
what
it.
If that's
Are
what
you
you're saying-
afraid to talk to him?
No.
Then
I
why
have
won't
no
you talk to
reason
him?
to talk to him. I have no reason to talk to this man at all.
So, Ronnie, you want to be a part of the show sometimes, but
don't
not
have
all the
any
time.
reason to talk to
Will
him.
you tell us when you don't want to be?
So sometimes, like Robin says, you want to be involved with the show, but sometimes you don't. So we're supposed to figure out when you want to be in the show.
I
You like
came
doing
in,
Ronnie's
I said
block
I got
party,
nothing
right?
to say to him, and that's it.
You like Ronnie's block party.
What does that have to do with it?
It has everything to do with it. You want to participate sometimes,
I participate
but other
all
times
the time.
you
I
won't talk
came
to
in
this guy.
I have nothing to say to him.
I think
He wants to talk to you.
I don't want to talk to him.
He's being exposed, and he's upset
I'm
about
exposed,
that.
right?
But he's not
I'm
being exposed. He hasn't even. It seems like he has something to hide.
Wolfie, please stay out of this because it's got nothing to do with you.
I think he's.
It's got nothing to do with you.
What do you think, Wolfie?
I think he's exposing weaknesses.
Look, you just chased him out of the room by saying
What are
something.
you doing? What have you done?
Oh my
I'm
God.
not talking.
I think Howard. I think I was much more tougher with you.
Absolutely.
But we
I don't
had
think
we
you
had
did
an
anything.
honest exchange as dads, as executives,
Right.
as people.
And you know what? Maybe you're right. I'm actually thinking about what you said.
Known you for a long time.
Right.
So, I'm trying to help.
I'm not threatened
trying to be
by
helpful.
you. This
No.
fucking guy is so threatened.
Professionally,
All you had to do was
could
talk
help
to
Ronnie.
me.
He could probably help Ronnie.
No,
out.
I'm not a therapist.
No, professionally in terms of his job in security.
Yeah, which is all I'm asking is say, hey, professionals talk all. I was talking to one of your security guys out there. He's NYPD detective. I train NYPD detectives. We talked. We had a nice conversation.
Might learn something.
Right.
Might not, but you don't know.
Professionals talk all the time about training. What's the
Man.
big deal?
Ronnie is
Push the
allergic
button.
to training, I think.
I would love if Ronnie carried a tampon or two. I mean, he should have a utility belt like Batman.
With all tampons. His bullet holes, holders are tampons.
But it also seems like Ronnie wants to be a part of the show. He's on the wrap-up show every day. He runs in there.
Right.
You know,
He's always got input to other
suddenly
things.
you show up, and now he doesn't want to be part of the show.
I think Ronnie, like in my profile, was drug into this character position on the show.
I didn't drag him in.
No, it happened organically over the years.
He's pacing the halls. Look at him. He's all upset.
Have they got a camera on him?
Yeah, look at it.
They're
There he
stalking
is.
him.
He's all upset.
He's being stalked.
Man, I can't believe it.
He's still yelling.
It's funny. Like you didn't even get out half a question and you fucking leveled the guy.
He's the first person to get upset if someone's not a team player.
Right.
So you challenge him and he runs away like a baby.
He wasn't being a team player. He's always blaming Lisa G as not being.
Everybody
Right.
else
He's not a team
engaged
player.
with me, which
everyone,
was good.
even Lisa G engaged.
Yeah,
with
I wasn't being judgmental. I'm just talking about profiles. That's all.
you. Yeah. Hey, you chased him right out of the room. It was weird.
Now I have to
Is he the most-
deal with him out there.
He'll be fine. But is he the most volatile person here? I guess so, huh?
The most volatile?
You know, but like, don't go on the wrap-up show and be part of that, and don't be on part of the block party.
Yeah.
Don't be part of the. And then all of a
Well, he
sudden,
certainly piles on when somebody else is getting, what they consider like a rough time.
right.
But he doesn't like it when it's him.
Yeah.
You
Robin's
chased him right out of the
Robin's
room.
right.
You didn't even say anything to the guy.
All the volatile people were fired over the last couple of years, so you're safe.
Right.
He has opinions about people that worked on this show in
Oh,
the past.
yeah. That's a whole nother story.
Well, hey, another day.
Another day.
I like
I'd love
when
to
you come
back.
Hey, Howard,
Did you know it was Tim who shit? You knew right away. Right?
Howard, I got to tell you something funny. I'm on the Amtrak train yesterday coming from Philly,
and
he was in my car.
No kidding.
You're kidding.
Yeah, he was all wired up, and he was in flip-flops, and I didn't get to say hi to him because, and I was hoping he wasn't using the bathroom on the train. So.
I was going to have Ronnie judge the beauty pageant tomorrow, but maybe I shouldn't because he don't like coming in here.
Yeah, he might get dragged into something he doesn't like.
All right. Anyway, listen, Dale, thank you. And
Thank
we'll
you,
check out your
Howard.
book, 3 Myths About Bullying, What Every Parent and Grandparent Should Know to Protect Their Children and Grandchildren. It's available now at Amazon.com. Check out Dale's website at saraf.net. And Wolfie, thanks to you, and I'll get to your stuff later on. Wolfie's been checking in with lots of good stuff lately.
Yes.
And we'll be back right after these words. I wanted to... I wanted to get to more, but I got Jeff Ross here. I would have.
I know you don't like shaking hands. So.
Well, yeah, because I got intimacy. If I could put a condom on my head.
Put you through the torture. I'll just wait.
You've been working. Good?
Yeah.
You're doing some great stuff for us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate the opportunity, and there's some cool stuff coming up in the next 5 weeks or so that I'm going to be doing.
Now, what do you do? You guys do martial arts together? What'd you run out of the room for? What's wrong with you?
He teaches my son. My son's 5.
What does he teach him?
Martial arts.
Oh, martial arts?
Yeah, I just.
Well, I have a part-time martial arts club, and it's my decompression.
Is that how you guys met?
Yeah, his son's in our kids program.
He didn't even know who I was.
I had no idea. My son told me.
Oh, that's funny.
I go, that's not true. He goes, yeah, he's Wolfie. I go, really? Yeah, so that's how I met him.
Oh, Wolfie's a good shit.
He's a good guy. Thanks for having me on.
I'm not interested in you. Stop taking my picture.
Thank you.
Go look and hide. I could give a shit.
I enjoyed him, and I thought, you know, I thought it was good.
There you go. Cool. Appreciate it.
I
don't know that that's wrong.
What about-
That could be an intimacy thing.
Pulling out is way crazier than whatever intimacy issue. I don't want to have another kid.
I don't. I mean, I don't know how else to
Call
do
it whatever
it.
you want to call it.
And condoms just don't bother me.
Well, they bother me. That's a problem.
It doesn't seem to slow me down.
Dale.
Hi.
Your analysis, sort of as predicted, caused a bit of controversy, especially with the man leaving my frame right now.
Uh-huh.
Why do you think Ronnie became so defensive?
You know, he doesn't. Some people don't like to be profiled. I mean, it's a very uncomfortable thing. He says I'm inaccurate. I don't think I'm inaccurate, but
when he came out here and he was upset, but he said, "Who are you? What are your credentials?" Well, if you were to tell him, if you were to,
I train the interrogators for the Army, Army intelligence officers. I train DEA agents, Secret Service. I went to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. I'm a Justice Department trainer, so I've done this. Done it for a long time, 22 years.
You're decorated as far as protection and psychoanalysis of criminals and things of
did it for a long time.
What does Ronnie do well? Is there anything you've noticed that he does
He's
well?
very loyal. I mean, he's very loyal, and he does pay attention. So I actually said some positive things about him, but I don't think he heard those.
What are some of the other negative things he does? I know you mentioned he keeps his hands in the wrong position. The training, I know you said, is sporadic at best.
He doesn't stand off to the side. He stands directly in front of potentially violent people. That's something you don't do. You never stand directly in front of someone.
Why? Why is it important to be off?
There's 9 weapons in front of someone: 2 fists, 2 elbows, 2 knees, 2 feet, and a headbutt. Why would you stand in front of 9 weapons? Makes no logical sense. You always step to the side. That's how you control people.
That alone gives you an advantage because
Absolutely.
they can't see you coming.
Women, men, doesn't matter. Yeah.
What about the psychological implications of Ronnie? If someone who gets defensive at criticism, and what does that indicate to you?
He's got a bad temper. He's a hothead, and that's something that he has to get under control if he's going to do security work. You have to be calm to do security work. So, you know.
The other thing I was going to ask you about is with Howard. I mean, you mentioned what a fan you've been over the last close to 30 years.
Yes.
Was it tough to tell someone that you like and respect so much something so negative about him?
Absolutely not, because I didn't say it out of a negative. I really want to help him because I do believe in psychotherapy. I've seen him benefit from it, but he's holding back. That's an indication of holding back, and I wanted to say that to him because I wanted to help him. I sincerely wanted to help him because he needs to complete that process of healing.
So you're starting to sort of spur that, get into his head.
I wanted him to think about it, to ask those questions. Ultimately, my job isn't to give you the answers, it's to make you ask the right questions about yourself. I have to do it to myself, too, so.
Fun time today, Dale. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Wolfie, another great discovery by you.
Thanks,
Good work, sir.
Thanks a
All
lot.
right. Thanks, guys.
Take care, everybody.
Gary, why don't you believe that this guy is correct in his analysis of you?
I didn't say it was all wrong. I mean, the part about my mother is right, but I think that his perception of my sexual being is based on a lot of stuff that has been told on the air, which is mostly truth. But I didn't agree with it. But I can understand how he can come up with that idea. I can swear on the life of my children that I'm not into like any weirdness, like he was saying, like urinating and spanking. I find spanking to be, to me, I've always thought the dumbest fucking thing in the world. And I remember when Howard would talk about this, was that Master Bill spanking video? I thought to myself, if anything, what a bore. Like, I remember watching it because Howard always talked about it, and I thought, why would I want to spank when I could be having sex? Like, to me, I find a lot of these weird sexual things are sort of putting off what you're there to do. And I find them boring. But I like him. I like this guy. I think he's really good.
How would you classify yourself sexually?
Adventurous, but not crazy. I think would be a great way. And when I say adventurous, I mean within my little bubble. I mean, I'm not so adventurous. I'm gonna like I wouldn't be interested in me, another guy, and a woman. I'm not that adventurous.
There are boundaries. Many of them.
Well, everyone has their own wacky boundaries.
Right, but more conventional boundaries than this was.
I think that in the grand scheme of things, people would be surprised to find that I'm probably more conventional in that area than they might think. When I was young and out there doing, sure, we messed around, but I don't have any weird stories. I've never had any almost sort of, group sex or gay thing or anything like that, and just not, like I said, it's not as weird as people might think. But I like this guy anyway.
Why allow people like this to get under your skin?
It's not under my skin, dude.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just answer to him about your training and let him know that you've done a good job? But why let him speak
I like to know
you?
he's protected.
Ron, let's just clear your good name once and for all.
Let's not.
No, but this guy's attempting to put words in your mouth, tell you how well trained or unprepared you might be.
Please, give me a break with this shit, okay? There's nothing. I got nothing to say about it, and that's the end of it. Okay.
Fair enough.
I want to know who this guy protected and saved lives. Whose life is saved?
Are you implying that you've saved lives?
You speak with words.
Have you saved a life?
What's that?
Have you ever had to save Howard's or anyone else's life?
Just read the newspapers from back in the 90s. That's all I keep saying.
Okay. I'm going to break out my microfiche. I'm going to look that up. Be back in a little bit. Ron, why don't you want to talk to this guy?
I got no reason to talk to him, and that's it. Goodbye. What the fuck?
But it's making you look worse by not...
I don't care. This guy means nothing to me. Wolfing is a piece of shit under my shoe. He shouldn't even be in there. He's got nothing to do with this. Because he brought a guest in? He shouldn't be in there. He's got nothing to do with this.
Well, why not clear your good name? Why not?
Oh, Greg, stop it with your nonsense already. Stop with the clearing my good name bullshit. All right? God, the guys are fucking unbelievable.
What about him makes you not want to speak to him? Because you'll speak to other people like Howard says. You pick
I got
and
nothing
choose.
to say to him.
Why? Why him
I
specifically?
got nothing to say to him.
What don't you like about him?
Oh, God. Jesus Christ, man. Give it a rest.
I should mention that Jeffrey Ross is coming in at 8 o'clock. I love Jeffrey. Jeff Ross is a guy who goes to all those roasts. He's mostly known for roasting.
He's a great roaster, yes.
He actually was at the Roseanne bar roast that occurred yesterday. I was talking about a little earlier that Tom Arnold showed up and was really, really funny, according to the newspaper. But
Did you see the picture of Jeffrey in the paper the other day?
Yeah, he went to the Roseanne roast dressed as what's the coach's name? I can't think of it.
Like Paterno.
Paterno, Joe Paterno. He went dressed as Joe Paterno.
And he had his arms around two young boys.
Yeah, during the roast. Those roasts, I mean, he consistently kills it. And I was reading some article where we'll talk to him about this. His preparation for a roast goes into the months, not weeks. I mean, and you can hear it. I mean, he comes up with these perfect jokes. It's phenomenal format for him. Right? I mean, who knew of Jeffrey Ross till he started these roasts?
No, it was the roast that put him on the map.
And he's terrific at it. I mean, he's awesome. So anyway, Jeffrey Ross coming in. Maybe he'll have some stories.
Hi.
Oh, good morning, Jeff.
Hi.
Hey.
How are you this morning?
Oh, man, I am top of the world.
I haven't seen you in a while.
It's been too long.
How are things?
Things are great. Things are really good. The rule was David Arquette had to come on 48 more times before I could come on.
It's an automatic?
Yes, I'm feeling good. Hi, guys.
Are you going to let Howard know about that it's been a little bit ridiculous that...
In case they ask me to roast them, I'm not going to just jump in on them because I'm a guest. I want to be a good guest.
Okay.
But, if these things come up, I'm loaded with a few killer roast jokes.
You've got some verbal ammo.
That's right. Always.
We'd expect nothing less from you.
I really appreciate that. It's great to be here, everybody. What's up, Howard fans? Good to be here. Good to be here at WNBC 6660 AM.
WNBC.
First time I ever heard Howard, he was interviewing the Beastie Boys in the 80s.
Wow.
And now here I am, as a grown man, coming back. It's cool.
All right, sir. We'll see you in the studio.
Beyond excited to be here. Beyond. Nervous almost, biting my nails. Just the exhilaration of being back in the King's lair.
Well, Jeff Ross is here. He's fresh from the Roseanne roast. I played you... it happened just the other night, like 2 nights ago. Hey, Jeff. Look good. You lost a little weight since I last saw you?
Usually the roasts are on a Sunday night. I don't know when they did
The roast was When was the roast of Roseanne?
Saturday night.
Saturday night.
Yeah.
I played your segment from there. It was hysterical.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, they sent it over to me. It was good to hear you. Good Lord, that roasting has made you huge, right?
It's our new national pastime.
You know, for a long time, the rap on roasters, young guys doing roast, they weren't hard enough on people. They weren't angry enough. There was a period of time where roasting started to fall apart. Like, people were actually going on and being friendly to the guy they were roasting. And then they started calling in real comics to do it. And because I remember the D. Martin roasts were vicious. But then it got nice. Everyone didn't want to, you know, is it hard to say something really shitty about someone to their face?
I would only say it to their face.
Right. You don't talk behind people's back.
It's hypocritical. A true roast master says it right to him.
But when you were looking at Carrie Fisher and you say, "Hey, Carrie, gravity, the force is still with you, but it's gravity," which implies that she's a fucking mess. And there's some truth in that. I mean, she doesn't look like Carrie Fisher anymore.
Right.
That is harsh. I mean, you can feel a woman close up on you, right? When you start doing that.
The only time I ever, at one of these things, had some jokes and balked and stopped was when Farrah Fawcett was at the William Shatner roast. I had all these jokes about how terrible she looked, and she looked beautiful, and it took me right back to when I was a kid, and I just couldn't get the joke.
Is that right?
Yeah.
In other words, it felt disingenuous to make fun of her for looking bad when she looked good.
And I worshipped her my whole life.
You couldn't go through with it. But some celebrities do get angry with you.
Occasionally, but rarely.
Penny
well, a
Marshall?
lot of them.
That's the one I heard. Penny Marshall.
She got mad at you?
What did you say to Penny Marshall to freak her out?
Well, I learned a lesson on that one, Howard, because
good.
It's just what we're saying. It was behind her back. The initial, it happened. She got mad at me twice.
Okay.
The first one was at a roast for Rob Reiner, who she used to be married to.
Right.
Who maybe they have kids together or something. And
I don't think they do, but
they don't have.
I'm not sure, but
right.
I was roasting Rob Reiner at a Friars Club roast, which are very brutal.
Right.
And I said, I don't even know how to roast you, Rob Reiner. I mean, how do you even embarrass a guy who married Penny Marshall?
Right.
What was your wedding song? How much is that doggy in the window?
Oh.
That's the stuff.
That's terrible.
So then about a few months later, I was in Las Vegas doing a private roast.
You do a lot of those.
Yeah.
You mean an executive will hire you to roast him?
In this case, it was the owner of the Sacramento Kings, the Maloofs.
The Maloof brothers.
Yeah.
When they pay you, and I imagine they pay you a lot to do this, because I was telling Robin earlier, you spend months sometimes preparing for a roast, right?
Of course.
Like you don't just take it lightly and go and plug in a guy's name. You spend time thinking about that.
It's like going to battle.
Right. So if you're going to do the Maloof brothers, you got to research them. You write all your jokes yourself, and then you spend months working on it. So you probably charge a lot of fucking money to the Maloof brothers to do this.
When I got off the plane, they met me at the cab stand, just like old Vegas. George Maloof put his arm around me and he walked me to the cage in the casino, and he pulled out the money. He called for some money. He paid me in chips and cash.
Oh, are you kidding?
It was old school.
Wow. And when they do that, so when someone's paying you a lot of money, you don't hold back on them. You really blast them, right?
Of course.
So do they ever say to you, but don't go too hard on me?
No. You want to roast people who want it.
Right, you would
I don't
think.
take the wimpy roast. I don't do that.
So when you do the Maloof brothers, or you do that guy from Virgin Air, I
roasted Richard Branson one time
privately.
He didn't like it either.
He didn't like it.
Well, here, let me just tell you what happened with Penny.
Right, go ahead.
So the Maloofs say, we want to be roasted in front of all the high rollers and all our big supporters for the Kings, and they own the casino. So I got my jokes. I've been working weeks on it. I'm excited. I'm getting, a prime spot right in the middle of the lineup. And there's Penny Marshall. So by now, she must have heard about the joke I said at the other roast.
Right.
So she starts heckling me before I even get to the podium. He's an ass. Fuck him. Don't let him talk. Shut him down. Trying to shut me down like we're in British Parliament or something.
It's a comedy show.
And she's just sort of, it seemed like she was just whacked out of her head on something. She was sitting on Vince Neil's lap.
Who wouldn't want to be on Vince Neil's lap? And she was yelling at you.
She was really shouting me down.
Do you go up to them afterwards and say, look, explain yourself that it's a roast, you're hired to write these jokes, I'm sorry sorry you were collateral
They
damage.
didn't give me that opportunity. I said that she started coming towards the podium, and I just stopped it. And I said, whoa, which one were you, Lenny or Squiggy? And she just spun around and sat back down, and I was walked out the back. I never made it to the after party.
They protected you.
Were
They
you
protected
nervous?
her. They kicked me out.
Have you ever gone to parties where someone comes up to you and says, "Hey, you've really shitty to me"?
No.
It's a tough thing. Sometimes you walk. It's like I saw you at Jimmy Kimmel's party. That's the last time I saw you.
Yeah.
And you were about to go on the road. With Charlie Sheen.
Mm-hmm.
The story was, if I don't think I'm saying anything out of school here, but Charlie was doing a tour. He was the biggest thing in the country, but he went out to try to do stand-up, and as we know, that takes years and years of perfecting, and he was bombing.
Every night.
So he got the idea to bring you out on stage. He hired you to come out on stage.
He called me at your party.
Did he actually call at the party?
I was at the party, drinking and having fun.
Right.
Big party. And, you know, obviously there's a lot to... I didn't want to... My phone rings. I had a hunch he was going to be calling.
Right.
And, Jeff, it's Charlie Sheen. You know, it's very intense. It sounds like Apocalypse Now every time he calls.
Right.
And,
it's always intense.
Hey, I have a show in Atlantic City tomorrow night, and everyone's saying you'd be great to wrangle the crowd and keep the crowd at bay. Could you come and be the moderator and interview me? And I'm like, Charlie, man, it's sort of not my thing, but what if, you know, about 20 minutes into the show, when things start to get a little hairy.
20 minutes. How about a minute in? Bring you out right away. Did he actually make it 20 minutes?
You're leaving him out there way too long. Yeah.
They probably brought you out like within 5 minutes, but go ahead.
So I said, if I can roast you, and he's like, and I said, I got to say whatever I want. And he said, okay, done. 6 a.m. flight to Philly, and we'll pick you up.
And
he
do you
said,
get
what do you
paid
need?
for that gig?
Sure.
Yeah.
And I said, I need a hazmat suit and a podium.
Yeah. So there you go to his show. Now, when you arrive, is it really no holds barred? You can say whatever you want about Charlie Sheen.
Well, now it's 15 minutes before showtime. I still haven't met Charlie Sheen, and they finally summoned me up to his suite. There's like 4,000 people at the Trump Marino loading in. I've been working on jokes from the party all the way to the flight, all the way, you know, from the airport. I've just got scribbled stuff everywhere, and whatever people gave me at the party on my way out.
Do you read off the notes when you do the roast? You can do that, right? That's allowable, right?
I feel like at a roast, you know, it shows respect if you took some time to write some
stuff out.
Right.
Were people at Jimmy's party giving you ideas on what you should do?
Yeah, Norm was giving me stuff. I remember George Clooney was there, and his big thing for me was to tell me, well, be careful what you say. Don't say anything that you're going to regret if Charlie dies.
But you don't. But seriously, saying that to you before you go to roast someone is really kind of deadly, because you can't. If it's going to really be funny, you've got to get to the biting truth.
Sure.
You've got to really wreck the person.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I can't imagine. Like, I wouldn't want you roasting me, because the shit that you say is. Look, every time I hear you, it's real. You're hitting some real truths.
Right.
And so if you were roasting me, I know that it's not going to be different for me.
It would hit you somewhere where it would hurt.
It's going to be really bad shit about me that I maybe don't even want to hear.
That's a different style. That's not my style. My style, Howard, is for everyone. You're guest of honor. If you're the guest of honor, I want everyone to leave that roast saying, that was so much fun. I hope we do that again someday. And I want you'd go home and you would tell your wife and your family all the jokes and go, there would be jokes you would love. Backhanded. When I roasted Hef, do you think he went home saying, oh, my God? He went home saying, God, I love that.
He probably had a better sense of humor than I do. I don't think I'd hold up well at a roast, honestly.
But there are some people on the Comedy Central roast, they back out because they can't take it.
That's true. Who's too mean at these? Are there people who go over the line, in your opinion? Because you work with kind of the same people. You'll work with Whitney Cummings. You'll work with
Lisa
Lampanelli. You'll work with the late, I thought he was
Greg
great.
Giraldo.
Yeah,
Greg Giraldo was a great roaster.
Good roaster.
Gilbert, you'll work with. Are there some people who go too far?
I do. I don't think there's a too far, Howard. I think sometimes there's a too much. I'll hit, Milton Berle, after my first roast, he said they only remember the home runs.
Right.
Hit them with 1 or 2 wows, and you don't have to hit them 8 times on the size of their vagina. That was my only beef with Whitney after she tore into Pam Anderson's vagina for half an hour. I was like, she's our guest. Just hit her with 1 or 2 and then move on.
So you have a line that you won't cross.
Well, I have an amount.
So you felt Whitney would say, let me understand, Whitney would say 50 times Pam Anderson's vagina is all stretched out.
Right, and then tell Pam Anderson's ready to leave. And I'm like, we're supposed to be having fun.
See, that I'm surprised to hear that, because sometimes it seems like maybe you're right. Maybe you don't pound the person to death, but it seems like you do because you hit him with a 1-2 punch right away. Yeah, it's remarkable. I love the roast, and I love all of that. So getting back... No, go ahead.
And they're healing sometimes. I mean...
They are?
I feel like people sort of... For Charlie Sheen, for instance, it was a reset button for him.
Yeah, we'll get back to Charlie Sheen, because maybe it was healing for Roseanne and Tom Arnold. She finally allowed Tom Arnold this time around, the one that hasn't aired yet.
Yeah.
She allowed him on stage, and the stuff I read in the paper was really funny between the two of them.
Funny and emotional.
Right.
He was quivering. She sat back in her seat. It was like there was a real authenticity to what was happening, and I was surprised. I had no idea what was going to happen, and it was alive.
Did you not know that he was going to be allowed to walk out?
No.
You didn't know?
I suspected, and I asked Joel Gallen the night before, because I had a hunch that something could be up, because I saw the executives sort of running around on their phones.
Right.
And they told me definitively no. So they surprised me, which is hard to do.
Well, because she had insisted that he be the only person not allowed to roast her. And when he was on my show, he had brought it up that he thought it would be a great idea if he roasted her. But he had been told no. So.
Well, I love Tom, but he's been out of work so long, he forgot you have to be offered a gig before you turn it down.
Yeah, right. Because he was on my show, he was killing on the show, and I said, man, that would be such a great moment if he came out. But I really never thought it would happen.
Yeah.
So get back to Charlie Sheen. So you get back to his dressing room.
I'm in his. The show's 15 minutes away.
Right.
And I meet him, and he's got one eye on a baseball game and one eye on me. And I
not nervous at all.
No, couldn't care less about this tour that is going down like the Titanic. He's got
That's great.
thousands of people sold out. They're buying T-shirts, the Torpedo of Truth,
and he has nothing to say.
Nothing. He goes out on a baseball shirt, a Philadelphia baseball shirt. We're in New Jersey,
you don't do that.
Just the whole thing.
Right.
And he comes out and winning and Tiger Blood. He's got this little shtick he does in the beginning.
Right.
So he says, I'll do all that. And then I said, okay, well, when it starts to get a little weird, because it's been getting weird every night, and they've been trying to get me to do this for a while.
Right.
I said, all right, that's when I'll come out and I'll do I'll roll out a podium and we'll start and Chuck Zito walks up to me, who I don't know at this point.
Right.
And he walks right up to me. he puts, you've seen his fist, Howard.
Right. He's a very big man, yeah.
And he's a very intimidating guy. And he walks right up to me, and he puts his fist against my nose. And he said, make sure the jokes aren't too mean.
Wow.
And Sheen goes, hey, Chuck, he's with us. It's okay, he's with us.
He's allowed to be mean.
Jeez.
So I was very intimidated.
Was Chuck doing it jokingly? Or no, it was not a joke.
Chuck was protecting his guy.
Did Chuck realize that you are a karate black belt? Aren't you a actual karate black belt?
I got a black belt in Taekwondo at 10 and a half years old.
At 10 and a half
At 10 and a half.
How do you think I have the confidence to bust balls?
Do you still
That's
practice?
what I told your bullying guy. They should teach the kids, bully victims should learn karate and then also learn roasting.
Is that why you learned karate? Were you bullied as a kid?
Yes.
You were, and your parents said
Now,
to you...
did this help?
My mother dragged me to karate school. I was crying and screaming, didn't want to go.
And she said, no, you're going.
Right.
And you might probably thank her now because you know this skill.
Every day.
Do you keep up with it?
No.
You do not?
That's what I was going to
It gives
say.
you a certain confidence. I can defend myself. I'm not saying I can throw flying snap kicks anymore, but if somebody threw a punch at me, I could defend myself.
That's great.
And whoever I'm with. I'm with.
And isn't it true, even to this day, you can beat up any 10-year-old right now? Like if I brought 5 10-year-olds in here, you could probably take them out. So Chuck says to you, hey, you better take it easy. Charlie says to you, listen, it's okay. You can, and so
He's
roast you did. And how
the show
long
comes out. The show, Charlie goes out, and he's doing fine. He's doing his shtick for about 15 minutes. And suddenly somebody in the middle of this giant arena goes, refund! I want a refund! And Charlie doesn't have the stand-up skills to stop everything he's doing and to go through.
Right.
He stops and he goes, "Who said that?" So now you got 3,000 people on a jumbotron, and he goes, "Come up here." So some guy runs out of the crowd. Charlie reaches into his pocket and gives the guy a $100 refund. So what happens?
But what? So they bring you out?
No, 80 people start
80
rushing
people
the stage
start
looking for
rushing.
refunds. So then the stage manager throws me out there, and I walk out in a full head-to-toe hazmat suit.
Right.
And I have a microphone, and I pull the mask down, and I said, "Hey, everybody, my name's Jeff Ross. They call me the Roastmaster General." And Charlie says, "What the fuck are you doing here?" And I go, "Charlie, these people paid good money for a comedy show. They deserve a comedy show, and no one deserves to be roasted more than the Warlock." And he goes, "Okay," and he agrees, and they roll out a podium.
Oh, that's great.
And I went to town on him for 20 minutes.
What was the worst thing you said? Does anything come into your memory bank that you said about Charlie Sheen that really was just fucking brutal?
If you're winning, then this must not be a child custody hearing.
There was nothing winning about Charlie.
That was right in the middle of the child custody hearing, right in the middle of the tour. It was the worst time of his life. And I must say, no one in the history of roasting has been as good a sport as Charlie Sheen, because he let me roast him every night in 8 different cities. I got meaner in every city, and then he let me roast him on Comedy Central. And on top of that, we watched the roast together. That's how much he loves the punishment.
You went over to his place?
Yeah.
Were there hot chicks loaded in there? We all assumed that Charlie... There were.
Yeah.
So you go over to watch him being roasted with him.
Yeah.
And he's got hot chicks all around.
Everywhere.
And does he share the hot chicks with you, or is he just kind of like his thing? Or
They're all his.
Yeah.
It's not that he shares or doesn't share. It's just it's sort of around.
It's the scene.
Like appetizers.
Right. So you became friendly with Charlie after all of this.
He puts the... harming and charming, I used to
Well, and when so after you do your thing, I don't know, how long did you do your thing on stage with Charlie? Half hour?
No, 15, 20 minutes.
And then he goes back to his live show?
Then I would stay there, and just to kill the last half hour of the show, because, you know.
He had nothing to do.
I would do a thing, I would speed roast. I'd say, who wants to ask Charlie a question? Some wisdom from the Warlock. Just some nonsense to get through the show. And people would come lining up. And I'd say, to talk to Charlie, or to hug Charlie, or kiss Charlie, or ask him a question, you got to go through me. Right. And I would just sort of up and down speed roast these nudniks who came to the Charlie Sheen show.
You mean you would roast them off the cuff?
Yeah.
Can you do? Are you? I sense that you said you had to prepare and for months and months and months. But if I said to you, go roast, Fred right now,
right?
Would you be able to, off the top of your head, roast him for a few minutes?
Probably.
You could.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say? There's nothing funny about Fred. How could you? What could you possibly say? Look him in the eye and roast him right now. Let's see a good.
He's
sport.
a nudnik who's come to the podium.
Go ahead.
Oh my God! Look at this, Fred. How are you?
Doing fine, my friend.
I loved you on To Catch a Predator.
Good luck. Very good.
He's a scary-looking guy. I don't want to make fun of him. He looks like he would have somebody killed.
Yeah, right.
No, you're doing good over there, Fred.
How did you know he was on To Catch a Predator? I didn't even know you knew that about him. That's awesome.
It's I have a whole stand-up special where I speed roast people one after the other from every city.
Yeah. Well, now has that aired?
It airs on Saturday.
This Saturday,
Yeah.
It's a stand-up special where you'll knock on a celebrity's door, for example, and roast them?
No.
That's not this.
I'm on stage in any city. I did 8 cities.
Right.
And I do some jokes about that city, and then I invite anyone who wants to come on stage for 15 seconds of pain. And I did 8 cities, and it's all cut together.
Oh,
Jeff
that's
Ross
great.
Roasts America.
Is that on Comedy Central?
Saturday night at 11.
Beautiful. I'll watch that.
Thanks, man.
I mean, when you look at a guy like me, I'm almost unroastable because, A, I'm handsome as hell.
Sure.
B, the women love me. And I'm not that controversial. So it would be difficult for you to come up with a line right now off the top of your head, wouldn't it?
No, I'd probably talk mostly about... I like to talk about what's going ahead, not
what would you say about me? Let me see if I could be a good sport. I will try. What could you possibly say about me? That would be...
Howard Stern almost got into a fist fight with Howie Mandel. That's quite an opponent there. A fist fight with a guy who doesn't like to be touched. You're really tough, Howard.
See, I can handle that.
You can
that's
handle
fine.
that one?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. I mean, that's nothing. I mean, that almost makes me look good.
But I wouldn't want to turn it up as a guest, because then
Turn
you
it
might
up.
get it.
Blast me one real good one.
Give it up for Howard Stern, the ugliest motherfucker on the planet. That's not even a joke. That's a fact, Howard.
That's it? I could handle that.
I wrote some notes down. You want me to roast you properly?
Yeah, go ahead.
Really?
Roast me.
Can
roast
I?
me. Yeah, go ahead.
He
Go ahead.
wrote notes.
I work on these things.
Seriously? I had no idea. I want to see if I could take it.
I would speed roast Nudniks. I don't speed roast legends. Legends I prepare for.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, so go ahead and give it to me, and don't hold back. But I can guarantee you, at some point, I'm going to tell you I can't take it.
Raise your hand when you can. Like have
Can I
a
raise
kill
my
sign,
hand?
like an S&M
Yeah,
situation.
what would be a word I could yell out if I can't take it anymore? Have Chuck Zito walk in for a second and punch you right in the head. Go ahead.
Thanks, Howard. But with all due respect, the Howard Stern roast is not the same without Bob Levy butchering my introduction. Great to be back, Howard. It's been so long. After my last time on this show, they said I couldn't come back until David Arquette had 48 more fucking appearances.
All right, I can handle that. Kind of. Yeah.
They come from a place of love, Howard, because I love the show. It's not an angry roast. That's not my style. I
see.
Robin's not here today. There's no one here to fake laugh at my jokes and step on the punchlines.
He asked to be roasted, not me.
Yeah, right. That was me, but go ahead.
There's no minorities in the studio. The closest thing you have to a person of color are the brown stains on Tim's fingers. That shit skate story was so gross. Who thought Sabian would cause more body fluids to fly than the Sibian?
How do you shit like that?
I don't know.
How does it fly out of your ass onto the walls and on the light
And the
switches?
light switch.
What
It sounded
is that?
good. It's like, what's it called? Spin arm. Remember spin arm when you were a kid?
You ever shit like that? No. Where does that come from?
It seems like, he shat and then walked around the room or something. It's like a lot. I never heard a story like that on the radio.
Me neither.
But let's face it, you guys beat that topic more than Fred Willard beat his cock.
What was that? I mean, what's going on with him?
Fred?
I love Fred.
Who goes to a theater to beat off anymore? It seems crazy.
I think he's having fun. He's got an artistic...
What is that about, though? I asked him to come on. He went on Jimmy Fallon. I really didn't get any answers. I asked him to come on this show. He declined.
Oh.
I just want to know, why go to a theater to beat off? I mean, is it to meet other people?
I don't think so. I think he was probably bored, had a couple drinks, and was having some fun.
All right. Okay.
I've jerked off in weird places, haven't you?
I'm very proud. I'm afraid someone will see how small my cock
Where
is.
have you jerked
Where
off?
have you jerked off in a weird place?
Let me think. Chuck E. Cheese.
You did? No. I believe it.
That would be a weird place.
Where have you jerked off? That's weird.
In a pool.
You did?
Yeah.
Not your own pool. Someone else's.
I once jerked off in the ocean.
Remind me not to invite you to my house. Am I done being roasted? Did I survive that? I mean, I don't feel that I got roasted that bad.
Robin, we need you back here. Without you, who will they ever get to Google the news? Even in Robin's absence, we still get all those great Robin songs. Everyone wants to fuck Robin. The only people who want to fuck Howard are those serious executives.
See, I like that.
Those execs are crazy to mess with you, Howard. Where else are they going to find someone willing to work 4 hours a day, 3 days a week? When you cut back, Howard, on your schedule, do you even think about who you were hurting? With so many shows, there's barely enough new material for Jay Leno to steal.
Now, you're friendly with Jay Leno, right?
No.
Oh, you're not?
I mean, I'm friendly when I see him, but I haven't been on a show since '96.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Why not? Well, I mean, your career is bigger than ever. You've really proven to be a great comic. Why the fuck are you not on the
I wrote
Tonight
them
Show?
a note. I wrote the bookers a note early on when they took over the primetime show.
Right.
They were looking for comics to do panel and stuff, and I threw my hat in the ring. They were interested, and I said, I want to play in the. I wrote Ross Marks, the booker, an email. I said, I want to play in the big leagues, and he wrote me back, get a bigger bat.
Wow.
So I just
he
stopped.
roasted you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's all about. You know, I would even think in terms of like with the roast and the attention you're getting that even if Jay just had you on to do 5 minutes and then you just fucking blasted him, you know, I would think that would be a great segment, no?
Yeah. You know, to be honest with you, I have my pals in late night now, and it's okay.
Who are your pals in late night?
I love the Jimmy Kimmel. I'm going to be on next week.
Jimmy adores you.
Yeah, he's been a good pal for a long time, and always in my corner.
Right.
And on my team, whatever I do when things are up or down, and that's a real friend. So, to me, that's enough.
Yeah, and I was actually surprised you were even allowed into the party at the big party.
Jimmy invited him?
Jimmy invited. I said, boy, Jeff's really, you never know. You never know. No, I was actually glad to see you there. And it was kind of fun to socialize a bit. That was some party, right?
It was the greatest, man. Just
Why was
singing
it so
karaoke. Because when else do you see Rickles with his guard down and Norm hanging out, Norm Macdonald? It was just the comics. To me, it's I don't care about the movie stars. That's not my thing. But when you see comics sort of unguarded, I love the fraternity of it.
It's funny you say that. You know who I ended up sitting on a couch for most of the evening with talking to? Is this guy Louis C.K.
Yeah.
And he seems like a very genuine guy to me. Are you friendly with him?
We started out together. I consider him a friend.
And I had a great conversation with him. Maybe you're right. And Norm, too. Norm's another great guy. What did he say to you? Did you remember what he said did he give you advice about Charlie Sheen? You said, what was his advice?
Who?
Norm Macdonald, the night that we were at the party.
I remember him just started pitching me jokes. I can't remember what they were.
Were they good?
I don't remember them being stuff I used, but just having Norm sort of engage in what I'm doing is the best. And I just started making fun of his jacket.
Were you nervous going on the Charlie Sheen thing at all?
Yes, on the first one, but once I got in the rhythm of it. When I'm prepared, I'm not nervous.
Yeah.
When I'm going into things sort of half-assed, then I get nervous.
What makes a great roaster? The guy's got to have a great delivery. It's like everybody could have the same jokes. There's, people write jokes.
It's the timing.
It's the timing, right? It's just
confidence.
Right.
I love Amy Schumer. She opened the roast Saturday night.
Right.
For Roseanne. And we had a couple very similar jokes.
Right.
And I started cutting them in my head. And then I said, you know what? I'm just going to do them. And I'm going to do them with confidence. Who knows what they'll use in the edit. So why break my script apart? I'm just going to do it with the confidence and gravitas of the roast master, and it worked.
So they don't work that out ahead of time. You don't sit down with all of the fellow roasters and say, look, here's my material, here's your material, and you work it out, because it seems like a horror scene. If you've got to sit there and cut jokes as people are going, you might have some killer material.
That's the game, though. It's awesome.
It's you
tough.
like that.
I love the energy of that, and the fact that you got to be on your feet and you got to be engaged, and you got to be in the moment.
When you're sitting there on the dais and Amy Schumer goes and she does a joke so similar to the one you're doing, you just sit there and go, oh, fuck me. Yeah. I mean, that takes a long time to create a joke. It's not like you can write it in 3 seconds.
That's why I like to go on a little later.
Why?
Because then I can roast the roast. What if somebody bombs? What if something crazy happens?
Do you sit there and write as you go along? Like, in other words, oh, you do. So if Amy Schumer went and tanked, then you've got 50 Amy Schumer lines.
Right.
But you can write it that quick.
I had a great joke in case someone tanked. Hey, Gilbert, if you're going to tweet about a disaster tonight, tweet about Amy Schumer's set.
Right. But she was good.
She was great.
And it didn't work.
So I dropped that one and made it about Ellen Barkin's makeup.
Somehow you work it in. How long do you go on for? Like 3 to 5 minutes?
I went on for about 8 minutes.
8 minutes.
There was a lot to work with there.
Do they cut that down, or they just run the whole 8 minutes?
I think they'll run most of it because it was pretty fun. And
I mean, the segment I ran this morning, maybe I should run it now.
I was dressed as Joe Paterno.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Now, that seemed pretty controversial, that you would show up dressed as Joe Paterno. And did anyone have any doubts about you doing that?
I did. I struggled with it for a while.
But why did you struggle? Because you thought maybe too soon?
No, not too soon, but I don't want it to be misconstrued as glorifying those guys. I wanted everyone to understand that it's my way of expressing my freedom of speech. A lot of comics have been apologizing and second-guessing their imaginations lately.
Right.
And that troubled me. And Roseanne represents unapologetic comedy.
Right.
So I thought it would tie together in a way that could be funny and also impactful.
Who knew it was that deep?
Right. Who knew? I just said, but you're right. I remember going on Letterman and making an OJ joke. It was right as soon as this murder occurred, double homicide occurred, and I went right on that night and I did a OJ thing. And Letterman came down pretty hard on me. He said, you shouldn't make fun of a double homicide. And I was like, oh, fuck, great. I just got chastised on television. And yet 3 nights later, everyone started in, including Letterman, with the OJ jokes.
Right.
And so I still feel glad that I did it. Because it was, history proved me right.
You asked me if I write my own material very early on.
Yeah.
I write it, but I also, at this point, because of my reputation, everywhere I go, people offer me ideas now.
Right.
The cab driver will give me a joke, and then Sarah Silverman will give me a joke. And you start to get ideas and influences, and I feel like I'm roasting Roseanne vicariously for all the fans and comics.
So Sarah hears that you're going to be on the Roseanne roast.
Right.
And she's known to do roasts, too. But she, I guess, didn't want to do this one or didn't get asked to do this one.
She didn't particularly like him.
I don't know about that. Does she not
No,
like
she
them?
talked about it with us.
She did? She said
I think
she
she
didn't like
loves them as a fan, but
Right.
I think, being up there isn't really something she looks forward to.
Right. So she calls you up and says,
No,
hey...
we had lunch, and, we'll just start bullshitting about the roast.
Right. And then she says something great.
Yeah.
And then do you have to ask permission? Do you say, hey, can I use that?
No, she's saying it so I use it, hoping I use it.
Wow. And she doesn't have that possessive thing like, I want to save this for myself.
No, she's waiting and watching the roast, waiting to hear her joke so she can tell her friends. And she's very, very supportive like that.
When you did Dancing with the Stars, you were voted out the first guy out.
Mm-hmm.
What did that say to you? It's a popularity contest. Is it that a lot of people in America didn't know you, or were you just a really shitty dancer?
How dare you?
Were you awful at dancing?
I happen to think I'm a good dancer.
So what happened? What went wrong
I got
there?
hurt.
You got injured.
Yeah.
How did you hurt yourself? You're dancing.
You were practicing, and your dance partner,
Edita,
who
What did
has
she do to
some body, right?
The most beautiful woman.
Did you hit on her at all?
She's married.
Oh, she is. But did you hit on her at
Yes.
all? You did. Couldn't get anywhere.
We loved each other, but in a way that was obviously,
Is it erotic when you...
It couldn't be realized.
When you're in a rehearsal with a woman that hot, I mean, she's hot, Edita. I know
Right.
what you're talking about.
Inside and out, wonderful person.
Okay. When you're dancing with someone, and they're scantily clad,
Mm-hmm.
and, you're wearing a pair of, I don't know, sweatpants.
No, you're wearing, and tight pants. And
Do you get a boner at all practicing with her?
not the practicing, because you're trying to remember your moves, the warming up, the stretching.
If she stretches
She did
you?
one move with me, boy. She would. We would stretch, and I don't know if you do yoga, but when you do this thing where you grab someone's ankles,
Right,
go
go
up
ahead.
like this.
Yeah.
So now I'm looking up like this,
Right.
and it was just.
And she's on her back on the floor.
And you're doing these kind of stretches, or she'd warm up and she'd change in front of me. You're together everywhere for 2 months warming up,
and you pop a boner.
You definitely get excited.
Yeah, and do you apologize? Do you say to her, look, I'm so... I mean, what do you do in that situation?
I would just ignore it. I would just play through it.
But she sees it.
Walk it off.
I mean, I'm assuming she sees it, right?
I think she probably, in some way, loves it.
Right.
She wants to know that her stuff is working.
Oh, it's working all right. No, she's super hot. So you were practicing with her, and I guess one of her fingernails got in your eye?
She, we did the same routine for months. We're working it out. If I go on the road, she came with me.
Wow.
I lost a lot of weight. And, my thinking was all the great roast masters before me, they were full entertainers. They could sing and dance. And, I wanted to sort of pay tribute to that. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try to learn something new.
Okay.
And I got the routine down. We were doing play that funky music.
Right.
And it was so exciting. Live TV. I'm in my trailer. It's a few hours from showtime. Chris Rock calls and he says, I'm watching with my daughters. Let me give you some advice. And he said, fuck the dancing and write some jokes.
He always knows what to say to make you feel confident, doesn't he?
So we go to camera blocking. The live show's a few hours away. And while I'm in makeup, Edita goes and gets her nails done. Polish woman, long, beautiful fingernails. And the last move, Howard, is me down here. I go, bam, on the very last move. As my hands come out, her hands come out over my head, and her fingernail
catches your eye.
Catches my eye, and I had what's it called? A cornea, sliced.
A sliced cornea.
And I go down on the ground, and I'm laying on the ground like wiggling around, and everyone's laughing because they all think I'm hamming it up or playing around.
Wow!
And 15 minutes goes by, and I'm not opening the eye.
Oh!
And now I go to the ambulance, and
maybe she wasn't loving the stretching. Maybe it was a payback for the boner. But go ahead. Yeah, you go to the ambulance.
And I go to the hospital, and then I go to a specialist, and he basically says, you can't dance. You have to. And now I'm like, this is I've been working months on this.
Yeah.
And word starts to get out and stuff like that because people saw an ambulance come out of Dancing with the Stars already, just an audience lining up and stuff.
Yeah.
And I started
why
getting
couldn't
calls.
you dance? Because your eye was so injured that you could have risked further injury?
I guess when you rip your cornea like that, you can't move your eye around.
You can't,
You're
the
moving.
light. I could sit in here, but I could. The lights, the cameras, it's just so painful. So I had to wear a
eye patch.
Yeah. And I said, if I can walk, I can dance. I told editor.
Right.
And I said, the show must go on. And the producer, Conrad, said, the show's going on, just without you. What are you talking about?
What do you mean the show must go on? We weren't stopping it, narcissist.
And actually, Kimmel said, dance, you'll be a hero.
Right.
Like a schmuck. I'm like, all right.
You
here
let
we go.
Kimmel give you advice?
Right. Dancing, no less.
Dancing advice.
And that's what happened. I went out and I danced poorly.
Right.
People started
With your
sending money.
iPad.
Are you saying in rehearsal you really were a lot better?
I'm still a good dancer.
Why don't
I
you?
love to dance more than anything.
Don't you
Why
think?
don't they bring you back?
Yeah,
That would have been a good idea.
Why don't they give you? In fairness, isn't there some new superstar season coming up where they're pulling in the best dancers from each series? You should get a chance at doing that. I am your advocate right now.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Howard. The last time you said something like that about me, it worked out too. Every time you plug something
What was
good
that?
happens for me. This was years ago. I told a story about roasting. I don't remember which one. And you said, you should write a book about roasting.
Yeah, and you did.
And a month later, I had a deal.
Yeah, how'd that book do?
Well,
it did well, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was. You've taught people how to roast, haven't you? You on the Bachelor. I remember seeing you.
He was on The Bachelor?
He taught the Bachelorettes or the Bachelors to roast, right?
Roasting isn't about celebrities all the time. It's also about roasting your friends and colleagues and coworkers. And
I'll tell you what.
that's what my show's about.
If you won't put Jeff back on Dancing with the Stars, you should at least let him bang editor. She should have at least offered after she took out your cornea.
Are they in charge of that?
I danced so poorly, people thought it was a telethon. They sent money.
Who's this guy? Let's go to a couple of calls. Let's remind you not to miss Jeff Ross's stand-up special, Jeff Ross Roasts America. That's the one where you'll bring people up on stage and you'll just let them have it.
Right. It's brutal.
It's brutal.
Yeah.
Good.
I didn't
like
do
that.
it to you because it's just not right to do it to friends. It works for strangers.
Do it to me.
No, it's like, you know.
It doesn't work. It's got to be
if I
with
know
strangers.
the person, it's got a layer to it.
When you roasted Donald Trump, in other words, it worked because you don't know him?
No, because that one I prepare for, and it's like a written roast. But speed roasting is very punk rock.
Right.
You know, I had a guy in Seattle just come on stage, and, you know, I'll ask him, what are you doing? He'll tell me. I said, he'll say, oh, I'm getting married next week. I said, what does your wife do? And I say, I know she's not a dentist because he's got fucked up teeth. I got hit about 8 times on the tour.
Really?
Mostly by women.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
They hit you?
Well, women will come on stage to get speed roasted in a top. You know how that is.
Yeah.
And they like, oh, I'm going to go up there and he's going to make fun of my boobs. And then I ignore the boobs and make fun of their eyes.
Yeah, right.
You know, pretty girl like you should think about getting her teeth fixed or something like that.
Right, and then that levels them, and then they hit you.
And they're caught off guard.
That's mature. See Jeff at the roast of Roseanne Barr.
Yeah.
And check out the premiere of The Burn on Comedy Central. What's The Burn?
The Burn is my new weekly roasting series on Comedy Central.
Now, is this the one where you knock on celebrities' doors and roast them?
Yeah.
Whose door do you knock on?
We're doing Stamos in the beginning.
Stamos.
We're doing Sarah Silverman.
Oh, you will walk into their homes?
Sure, or wherever they want.
So it's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, except you annoy them and shit all over them when you get into their
in
house.
Stamos' backyard. You know, he has that giant D from Disneyland in his backyard.
Right, yeah, he's into Disneyland.
So what's the D stand for? Is that your grade in acting class?
And he liked it.
What do you tell girls in bedroom? It's a small world after all. He's a great sport, you know that.
Yes, he is. He really is. Let's go to, I don't know, Tommy, who wants to say hello to you, and then I'll let you out of here. Go ahead, Tommy in Lansdale,
Howard,
Pennsylvania.
hey now, love you, brother.
Hey now.
Jeff, you're kicking ass, man. I never heard of you until you went on Howard years ago, and I'm sitting in my car right now. I'm late an hour for work. I'm just pissing myself.
Hey, he's
all
a great
the roasts
guy.
you do, man, excellent, and you sound like a pretty genuine dude too.
Thank you, dude.
Man, keep it up, Howard. You too.
All right, real good. No problem. Let's go to Balls in Elwood City, Pennsylvania.
Balls all morning.
Hey now, balls, and more balls.
Humongous fan, Jeffrey. I just want to ask you 2 quick things.
being a famous comedian, ever got any famous pussy? And can you roast Gary dell'abate?
Gary dell'abate, there's nothing funny to roast about. Am I correct?
How is he in charge of this show?
Go ahead.
The only thing Gary can produce is plaque.
Now, that's a good one.
That's not bad.
That's a real good one.
And
celebrity women. Celebrity
I've slept
pussy.
with?
Yeah. Have you actually been with famous women?
Because you roast.
Because you roast. Has roasting brought you to that level of fame yet?
No, I don't. No, I used to fantasize about. That was my obsession, was to one day.
Powerful woman.
But as I got, as I was able to get real women, the celebrity, I don't want to be somebody's second banana. I never got into that.
Yeah, are you afraid? You know, that's what I think. Why my wife and I were just talking about this. Why actors specifically can't marry each other, because it's competitive, and it's one day the other one's up, the other day the other one's down, and it's probably difficult when you're in a relationship with a woman. You want to feel like you're the most important sort of player in the room, huh?
I'm dating somebody now who makes me feel that way.
She makes you feel that important.
Yeah.
She looks up to you.
Yeah, and we look up to each other, and we share that. You know.
Am I hearing a serious relationship for you finally?
It's still pretty new, but it's going good.
You
What
against
does she
marriage?
do that you look up to her?
She's a comedian. She's a comedian. She's just starting out at the Comedy Store and stuff.
She's actually a little person and looks up to Jeff.
She's 3 feet tall.
So you're dating a comedian.
Yeah.
Now, don't tell me that doesn't get fucking competitive. I mean, if she starts doing super well, if let's say her career explodes, you're not going to be able to deal with that.
You think?
I know.
I think I'll be okay.
You do.
Well, your wife works?
Yes, of course she works. But what if she suddenly gets bigger than me and I'm left behind?
I see.
You see
She's
what I'm
the
saying?
queen of all media.
The
and
queen
you're,
of all media,
you're
right?
interning.
Can we handle that as men? It's very difficult. Balls. So no celebrity pussy. Okay.
Thanks again, guys.
All right. Thank you. And let's go to Libby, who wants to say hello, and then I'll let you out of here. Go ahead, Libby.
bababooey. Hey now. I just wanted Jeff to go back to talking about Richard Branson. He never finished about how he didn't like his roast.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
what
yeah.
did
So,
Richard Branson like?
Am I the only one? I'm the only one paying attention.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you for paying attention. I got too excited about other stuff and moved on. So Richard Branson, and I find this fascinating. You can make a good living now, sort of in a corporate way, where these guys hire you, and they want you to roast them at a private situation, a function.
Right.
So Branson hired you or didn't hire you?
His friends hired me, and this is where it went wrong.
Okay. He didn't know about it.
It was up in Canada. He had some kind of thing going on up there, and a couple of his lieutenants and his buddies who worked for Virgin.
Right.
They said, "Oh, you know what? Richard's a great practical joker. We thought we'd get him back."
Oy vey.
So I can't remember too many of my jokes, but they were mostly so they don't. He doesn't know why he's there exactly. He thinks he's there for some other thing. And
Now, was this in front of an audience?
there's like 50 people that he knows and works with.
Right,
You know?
right.
And they put him in a chair, and we're having drinks, and suddenly, the roast master, da 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 da, and he's sitting there, and he's sort of. People are dying because they love that they're punking him.
Right.
And I don't like to surprise people, but I said, you know what? They really don't want to tell him. And I pushed back a couple times, and finally that was a make it or break. It was a good gig, and I said, all right, you know what? Love to meet Richard Branson, and I'll try it. So I'm about 6-7 jokes in, and I'm doing well, and I'm seeing that I see his like mind ticking. Like he doesn't. Either he's going to get up and leave, or he's got a big line he's going to drop on me, or maybe the joke. I don't know what it is.
Right.
I get all through the roast, and I get on a roll, and I'm killing, and finally, like, he's just a good sport. He's just laughing, and he's enjoying it, and he just sort of, it's like getting molested. After a while, you just sit back and let it happen.
All right.
And then I give a big finish, whatever the last joke was, and he stands up, and he comes over, and he has his drink in his hand, and he gives me a big hug, and he drops his whole drink on my head.
Oh. So you were upset.
It's just, I kind of shrugged it off with a laugh, but I go, this is not the business I want to be in. This is
right.
Roasting is...
Well, roasting is hard work, number one, and it shows that the guy didn't have a good sense of humor, and now all of a sudden he's sort of physically attacking you over it because he doesn't know how to humiliate you any other way.
Right.
And now he's pouring a drink on your head. And maybe he thought he was being funny, but the truth is he couldn't take it.
Right. Powerful people do not like to get caught off guard.
But you make a good point. Yeah, you don't want to go in there if this guy doesn't want you there.
Right.
If he can't handle it, then
Right.
fuck it. Why should you be humiliated? So you never spoke to him afterwards and you said, hey, that was bullshit? You just went over the line, man? You didn't have to do that to me.
I tried to be a good sport because I realized that I broke one of my rules of roasting, which is not to sneak up on people.
Right, you learned your lesson.
I just roasted my Uncle Murray for his 90th birthday, and he begged me. He was so happy.
Right.
When somebody's up for it, there's no greater party.
It's an honor, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, and I imagine you get paid a lot of money for these private gigs, make more than $100 or something, like something crazy, right?
It's a good way to do a gig without having to, go on the road and promote it for a week, and
You're
you
not
just
kidding.
show up and bust somebody's balls.
Did you know when you got on the first? What was the first Comedy Central roast you ever did?
I did them I did it at the Friars before that.
And then you got your reputation. They asked you to go to Comedy Central.
No, I pushed Comedy Central and Drew Carey and the Friars Club into doing the first one. It was my idea.
And once you got on, it became your thing. When you got into comedy, did you think roasting was going to be?
Didn't even know what it was.
You didn't know.
No, I used to have to, when they first asked me to do it, it was like saying jousting, or it was like a lost art.
And were you like at first, hey, I don't even know that I want to do this. That's not what I do.
Yeah, I got a lot of shit I was in the alternative comedy scene downtown in New York, where we would just tell stories without a microphone, and it was like the mid-'90s.
Right.
And I loved that. But then I got asked to do a roast, and it was a tough time. It was after the blackface incident with Whoopi Goldberg, so they had trouble getting bigger stars that year.
Right.
And they thought I'd be good at it. And Greg Fitzsimmons had gotten me into the Friars Club.
Right.
And I said, wow, this is interesting. This is the ultimate alternative comedy. I'm going to put a suit on and go bust Teddy Youngman's balls. And I met Milton Berle and Buddy Hackett. And
so who was the first roast that you
Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal. Oh, my God, that's fantastic.
Humorless.
Probably didn't even get half the jokes, right?
Did not get the jokes. I'll never forget it. There's 1,500 people, at that Hilton where, you're always up in the balcony, Howard, lurking in the back.
Right.
There's all these people there, and Steven Seagal's there, and I don't know anybody. I got my one good suit on from the Letterman show left over,
Right.
And Milton Berle introduced me. He gave me this terrible introduction. He just came back from a convention of lesbians with dildo rash. Just some generic bullshit joke.
Right. Didn't know you from a hole in the wall.
And I come out in my suit.
I got three of them.
Yeah, go ahead. You come out in your suit.
Steven Seagal sitting there, and I look out at the crowd, and I said, I realize I look at Seagal and I go, I realize a lot of you don't know me here today, but I feel uniquely qualified to be here today because I'm also a shitty actor. And I just start tearing into Seagal, and every 3 jokes I get poked in the ribs from this side by Milton Berle. And the only other person to ever do that to me when I was speaking was my cantor during my Haftorah. He would do that to keep me from being nervous. He would just sort of remind me that, I don't know why. So Berle just keeps poking me. Every time I get an applause break, and Berle had these long, sharp nails. And he's just disrupting me. He's just fucking with me.
Why is he doing
well? And I didn't know. And finally, I just turned to him and I engaged him. And I said, what are you doing? And I said, we started going back and forth. I said, I was walking around downtown today. I saw Milton Berle in an antique shop. $800. Boom. And then finally, he goes after me and he starts grabbing the mic out of my hand and we're going back and forth. It's my first roast.
Oh, my God. Why? Do you think he was jealous that you were killing?
He didn't like a new guy getting laughs.
Wow.
So finally, Buddy Hackett was sitting like 8 seats down the dais.
Right.
I didn't know him either. He screams off mic. He goes, hey, Milton, let the kid work. Remember when you used to? Milton leaps out of his seat. He's in his By the way, my first roast was Milton's last. Milton ran over and kissed Buddy on the lips. And I said, look at them. Give them a round of applause. Between the two of them, they have over 150 years of homosexual experience. And I have a picture of this in my house. Milton ran back over and planted one right on my lips.
Wow.
And that was it.
So were you angry? I'm not understanding. Were you angry with Milton Berle for interrupting you and fucking with you, or do you consider that like a huge honor?
I consider it a coming-of-age moment, a graduation into the majors.
I still am fascinated why he would poke you. I think he was tantruming like a child. You were getting all the attention, and he couldn't deal with it.
He would have been hogging the stage the whole day. It was nobody really funny except him, and he couldn't deal with it.
So in a sense, it's a compliment that he couldn't deal with you. The great Milton Berle could not deal with you.
Right, you stole his stage.
And I still was respectful afterwards. At the back at the club, I talked to Buddy, and Buddy told me that he pokes new comics out of jealousy and just to be a pain in the ass.
Oh my! Are you sure it was his hand and not his cock? Wasn't he like the legendary huge cock guy?
He had a big one. Right?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great story. All right, listen, Jeff Ross. He came in here and he entertained you. Now, quid pro quo. You have to watch all of his specials.
Lots going on.
Everything coming up roses for Jeff Ross.
Howard, one closing roast joke about
Please,
you.
Go ahead, yes.
One to close
I can't
it off.
even imagine what you could say because I'm
He's leaving through a bunch of notes.
There's nothing funny about me. Go ahead.
But in all seriousness, Howard, as you know, I'm starting my own show in a couple weeks, and I want you to know that as a host, you are my inspiration, Howard Stern.
Thank you.
In order to be a success, I will try my best to mimic everything you have ever done in your magnificent career.
Thank you.
I've already told my executives to defecate on the walls, my writers to stroll in late,
right.
my co-stars to work from home,
right.
and I'll keep showing up to work even though my contract says I'm owed a ton of money.
That's right.
Thank you very much, Howard.
Jeffrey, thank you. Jeff Ross, everybody. Great Jeff Ross. We'll be back right after these words.
That drives me crazy with Milton Berle. That's such a tantrum.
Forget it. He was
unbelievable.
He eventually stopped doing the roast. That was his last one, but we became pals after that.
You know, I worked with him a bunch of times. I did interviews, and he agreed graciously. I had a talk show on E! Before I had like my regular radio show. It was an interview show. So Milton Berle is insisting I come back and see him before I interview him. And I said to them at E! I said, look, I don't do that. Like, I think it's much better to sort of like get on there and spontaneous. If he has something he wants to talk to me about, let's do it on the air, whatever it is. Because he might have said to me, don't bring up my cock, don't do that, you know, and I would have been like, fuck, you know, because like, whatever, you know, these are the things I wanted to bring up. So I'm resisting. He says, look, I'm not coming out till you come and see me. So, you know, it's like, we're pissing contest. I go back to see him. And he was the one who started in with me. He says, listen, I'm going to go out there and say this, then you're going to say this. And you say, Uncle Milton, you were on Beverly Hills 90210. How is it that they're not giving you an Emmy? Then I'll say, no, don't bring it up. Then you'll say, you should get an Emmy, Uncle Milty. And then I'll say, no, I'm embarrassed for you to bring it up. Then what you say is you give out the phone number for the Emmys, and then you tell your fans. And I was just like, oh my God, here's a guy who's had a huge career. He still fucking cared. He was 80 fucking years old. And he still cared about getting this goddamn Emmy. Wow. You know, it was crazy.
He loved the attention.
He loved it. He couldn't bear that you were doing well.
He couldn't bear to be irrelevant.
Right.
The last time I ever saw him, he was in a wheelchair. We were honoring Sid Caesar for like his 80th birthday. And I knew he wanted to be acknowledged. And I said, Milton Berle is here, and he brought a wheelchair for his cock. He leaped out, and he was so happy.
Yeah, he wanted, that's true. That's why he used to come on our show. Right. He thought it was like sort of, but you know, he was great when he was on our show. Like, we loved having him.
He used to...
That's cool that he was your guest, though.
Yeah. It was a real big deal.
What he used to tell Howard all the time was, we would say, but Uncle Milton, we heard all these roasts that you would do, you know, these things. He goes, those were done in private. Working blue in public, that's a whole different thing. Those were meant to never be heard. But Howard's like, but you're cursing up a storm. That was not meant to be heard. Like, he had a whole...
He had his whole theory of everything. But he was funny, he was fun.
He gave me shit for making the roast public.
He was a pain.
Thank you, sir.
Thank
Great
you.
time.
Good seeing you. Great job.
How you doing? I heard you mention during the interview that a mere plug or indication of something you should do automatically leads to success when it's mentioned on the Howard Stern Show.
It's true. It's true. If Howard puts it out there, it happens. It's just a fact. He's like the Walter Winchell of our generation.
Now, even though Howard hasn't done stand-up comedy, it seems like every comedian who walks through these doors really respects him. Why is that, in your opinion?
Because he's our Johnny Carson. He's the guy that you want to be called over to the couch. He has great taste, and this is the black belt to broadcasting right here.
It's sort of a combination of what you do and broadcasting, I guess.
It's new, and Howard's managed to stay relevant and on top of the world. It's pretty amazing for a long time.
Jeff, another good appearance.
Thanks.
Thank you for coming down, man.
Great to be here.
I was listening to Howard 100 News yesterday, and I heard the disturbing report that Teddy got mugged for his iPhone. Teddy... What does John call him? Teddy Microphone. I don't know when that happened.
Teddy just got married.
Yeah, it turns out he was on the subway, and he says like a pack of wolves, like 7 guys, descended on him and tried to fight him. grabbed his iPhone, and then he chased them, and they turned around and looked at him, and they said to him, "Hey, Teddy," or whatever.
They knew him?
No. They said, "Hey, look, guy, stop chasing us. You're being foolish." Like they almost said, "Like, what do you want to get your ass
you're
kicked?"
asking for trouble.
And Teddy thought about it, and he said, maybe this guy's giving me good advice. But the odd part of the story and why I want to speak to Teddy, because this is upsetting to me, Teddy has one of those apps where he can track where his iPhone is, exactly where it is. He says, "Here it is. I know exactly where my iPhone is." And
So
he
why
called.
is he chasing them?
Well, he called the police, and the police wouldn't do anything about it. He said, "Would you send a car over there and get my iPhone? There's been a crime."
Well, this is horrible because obviously these people are predators.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I mean, here we have the technology to get the guy's iPhone back and catch a bunch of marauders. Why would the police not? I don't understand his story. It doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense to me. I believe the police would go check it out.
Why not? They're doing the stop and frisk thing. This is obviously people who are up to no good.
Gary, when does Teddy come in so I can talk to him about this? Or is he not here till late in the show?
Gets in around 8, Howard.
8. Do you know anything about that story?
No, but John Lieberman's here, and I think you may have a couple of the facts wrong.
Oh, all right. John, come on in. This is John Lieberman. He's made his bones on the Tim case where Tim shit in the bathroom, and he...
Now we look forward to every report.
He did DNA swabbing and all kinds of things, and all of a sudden he's like top reporter around here.
John Lieberman got 18 on the ugly meter.
Yeah, a lot going on around here.
Yeah, who knew?
So Teddy went out drinking Sunday night with his new wife.
Right.
And he ends up turned around on the C train in Manhattan, headed the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
So he's headed to Brooklyn.
Okay.
He gets off the train. He's discombobulated. Next thing he knows, there's 7 or 8 guys poking at him, reaching in his pockets, trying to mug him.
Right.
They end up getting his iPhone out of his pocket.
Right.
But they don't take his watch
And
or
his wallet.
or
Right.
his wallet
All
or
right,
anything.
so far I'm with you. I think I got the facts straight.
Then he gets back home and he calls the police, but the police say they want to come to his house and do the report and everything, but he was drunk and kind of out of it and said
that's why. Okay.
Said I don't
really
I don't feel like dealing with this right now. So then he uses the app on the iPhone to locate his phone, and he sees it sitting on Fulton Street in Brooklyn.
Right.
For hours and hours, and then he wants to go back. Yesterday morning he told us he wants to go back and find his phone.
Vigilante style. Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. And we advised him that it's probably not the best idea to do
Well, why
that.
won't he? So the police are not at fault. They came over. They were ready to come right over, take the report, and get the phone for him, and he didn't do it.
The police are not at fault. No, not at all.
Not at all.
Not
That's
at
what
all.
I said. Because it seems to me the cops would be all over this.
Well, look, I mean, people get their...
Where is his iPhone now? Is he still able to track it on his iPad?
Yeah, he's still tracking it on that app.
Now, why won't he call the police now?
Well, he says he was considering it. He says that he will call the police and actually go through and file the report.
What is he going to
now.
wait, a month?
I used to think Teddy was kind of a sensible guy.
And that makes no sense to me. Well, then it's his fault. He'd rather go out on his own and try and tackle these guys
and get killed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was saying back there yesterday, that he wanted to go and...
Why don't you as a reporter go see who the guys are and interview the guys who took his phone?
Well, people on Twitter were like, go out and live tweet finding Teddy's phone on Fulton Street in Brooklyn. Yeah, so...
Do we know where Teddy's phone is right now? We know exactly where it is.
Yeah, we know
Crazy.
exactly. We know approximately the block it's on in Fulton Street. It's sitting in some guy's apartment blinking.
Hey, while I got you here,
yes,
I mean that story makes no sense to me. I don't understand it. I don't understand why he's not calling the police.
But can you imagine being that drunk?
No, I mean
you can't even call the police. You can't get involved.
How drunk are people getting? Also, what is
he
that?
did. The interesting thing is he did call the police, but once he found out it wasn't going to be a snap your finger process. I mean, they had to come out, write a report, and everything like that. And he just said, "You know what? I'm going to bed. I'll deal with it in the morning." And then in the morning,
he didn't deal with it.
He still hasn't dealt with it.
That's just odd to me. That's a fascinating man. I would like to interview him about that.
Well, I would also. I mean, was his wife with him?
Yes, his new wife was with him, and I believe that Sarah, Tim's assistant, was there as well.
Right.
Because they're all very friendly.
Right.
And it was, it was a party. It was a Sunday party. I understand they went to brunch and they were drinking all day. And sometimes, when you go the wrong way on the C train, you can get into trouble.
You're so drunk you don't know how to get home.
Right. He probably was out of it.
So, and
not one of them knew they were going the wrong way on the C train.
Well, it was just the two of them. It was just Teddy and his wife.
At that point.
And, when these packs of gangs, these groups, they can smell blood. They could see that Teddy was drunk.
No, they can smell booze.
And they can smell booze, exactly. So they pounced on their prey. They found, that he was weak, and they got his iPhone.
Yep.
Luckily, he wasn't hurt. He had a little bruise on his head. But
well, I still say you should call the police. He could easily get his phone back.
Yeah.
And the imbeciles who took the phone.
Well, the longer he waits, the more ridiculous it is.
Something's up with that story. I don't know. I don't get it. Maybe it wasn't a pack of guys. Maybe it was one dude.
And one little dude, and Teddy's afraid to say that he couldn't defend himself.
Why wouldn't you call the police for your phone? It's a $700 phone.
Teddy says he actually ran after the guys after they took his phone.
Yeah.
He ran after them, and one of the guys said, "Dude, just go home."
Right.
Almost like,
right.
Don't.
Well,
what are you doing?
Advice. Yeah, you're gonna get your ass kicked.
Yeah, the thugs were giving Teddy advice in his inebriated
They felt
state.
bad for him.
Yeah, yeah. I think they felt so bad for him. That's why they didn't take his wallet or his watch.
Well, that doesn't make sense to me either. The wallet and the watch. But, all right, I want to hear from him. But you bring him to me at some point. We'll give him a grilling. And I believe you covering the story when he goes to the police and being part of the chase down with the police, you would be terrific
go on the
that
ride.
beat.
Oh, yeah, we'll be there.
You'll be on the ride.
We'll be there for all of it.
All right, real good. Okay, keep me posted. Oh, while I got you here, let me ask you another thing.
Sure.
Did you do the toe fungus Gary report?
I did not. That was a Lisa G. That's her beat.
Lisa
Gary's
G.
toe fungus.
Gary's toes are Lisa's beat.
Yeah, I got to tell you, because I was so curious when I heard that story, because Gary was at my house over the weekend. And, of course, he goes in my pool. And I noticed his toes looked absolutely horrible.
He's got his fungus back? He had laser treatment.
I thought he had gotten rid of it, and it was like one of the toenails was like almost sticking up like in a weird way and look rotting.
Ew.
But on the report it said that he put on some sort of cover-up thing that makes his toes look normal, but they look nothing like normal.
What is he putting on his toes?
There's some sort of medicine, and the medicine is administered by a thing you put over the nail, and when you put it on the nail, it makes your toe look normal.
Why doesn't he get rid of this fungus?
When you were at my house, was that before you put this new cover-up on your nail?
That is true. There's before.
Oh, man.
But I never saw
anything nastier or gnarlier than that toe.
I think it's funny because they probably were. I've been at your house 3-4 summers in a row. This is the healthiest I've ever been. It's only
the one toe.
And
but oh my God, Gary, that toe has some fucking look. I mean, it is. You cannot.
What does it look like?
It looks like, to me, I looked quickly because I didn't want to bum out. We were having a good time, and I didn't want to concentrate. But the whole time Gary was in my pool, I'm like, I hope that shit doesn't spread to me.
It doesn't. Mary and I had a long discussion. Mary's like, you've had this for like 7 years now,
right?
And she's like, we use the same shower and everything, and you don't. I don't think. I mean, it can spread that way, but I think I got it from I don't know, like sweat in the socks or running. That's what the podiatrist said.
No, it's unbearable to look at. And Gary's toe, it's the big toe. I don't know which foot it's on.
Both.
The big.
So it's the one toe on each foot?
That's right.
I looked at one. I went, oh! I looked away, and then because I was talking to Gary, we had a good time, right, Gary? And the big toe. And then it looks almost like the nail is lifting off the foot and it's sticking almost straight up in the air. It's weird.
Yeah, I think you must have glanced and seen that, but that's not what it looks like.
What does it look like?
It's just discolored.
You want to show?
No, but doesn't it stick? It's it's not super thick.
No, it's not any longer. I keep them trimmed. It's not any longer. It's not sticking up. It's just discolored.
Not bubbly.
Should we see it?
Now you would know because now it's been. I had this weird process where
it's cosmetically covered up.
It's cosmetically covered up, but the cosmetic stuff that they use also has medicine in it that's treating it.
Oh.
I mean, can you imagine what this is? They've been treating this thing for years.
It can't be killed.
I've had friends who have had this for 10, 15 years.
It won't stop.
I've had the laser treatment 3 times, which got rid of everything
but the one toe.
But the one toe.
Why is this toe so
I don't know, Robin. You're a nurse. Tell me.
It's a mess. You never saw anything like it. And you're saying it looks normal now with this thing on it?
It looks more normal. In other words, if you stared at it, you could tell that there's something going on. But if you glanced at it,
I guarantee you, Gary's nail is thicker than a normal nail. It's bubbly, like almost like it's.
Well, you can't tell now it's covered.
You think the cover is good?
I bet you the cover's bad. Remember, he thought his teeth looked good.
His teeth used to be good,
Right.
and they were terrible.
I mean, my God.
It's not bubbly. It's just discolored. It's yellow.
I think it's more than discolored. I think it looks.
It again.
I will rotting.
I will tell you that they were in the best shape they've ever been in.
I hear that, but the one.
But I'm saying you've seen them 3 years in a row and you didn't seem to notice.
I understand. Oh, I noticed. Don't worry.
Notice like this.
But this one, this looked this looked
scared
like
you.
This looked like from Mars.
This isn't even the worst. This isn't even the worst case I've ever seen. Like mine are mild compared to others. First of all, the bottom of each of the toe is healthy. It's just the top part. It's like half the nail.
By the way, why can I have a discussion with you about this, but Ronnie can't have a discussion about anything?
I don't know. I just find Ronnie, he's such a good guy, but he's something in the way he grew up or something. He's immediately combative.
I think he must have been picked on or something. And
You know what I was thinking yesterday, too, that he doesn't understand the term defensive, because every time you say, Ronnie, why are you being so defensive? He goes, I'm not defensive.
I said good morning to him out there, and he grunted.
Right.
He grunted like a Neanderthal or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's very upset.
You can't even say good morning to the guy anymore.
No, he's
He was. I got to tell you, yesterday we spoke to him on a wrap-up show. Yeah. John and I got off the wrap-up show. It was the first time where we just, John and I, we sort of recap.
Right.
And we were like, I think we felt sorry for him. He seemed very defeated.
He's a confused guy.
And he seemed very upset, and he seemed really shaken in a sad kind of way.
Really?
He thinks everyone's out to get him, but he's paranoid.
His button is when anybody says anything about his lifestyle, like when Scott DePace questioned the going out with strippers, when the psychology guy questioned the swinger lifestyle, that's his Achilles heel. When anybody questions the way he's decided to live his life, that seems like he just explodes.
And Howard,
nuts, yeah.
and at dinner last night, Lucas was here for the wrap-up show yesterday, so he saw a lot of what went on with Ronnie.
Right.
And at dinner last night, Lucas was really upset in the sense that what he doesn't know the show, so what he got was that there was a guy that came to the wrap-up show, Ronnie, who he's met before, who seemed very sad, who seemed like he was going to quit his job because he was so upset about the way you talk about him. And Lucas was like, "Is Ronnie going to leave? Is he going to quit?" Because he just seemed so upset, and it was very upsetting to him.
Ronnie upset Lucas.
Well, not on purpose.
You upset Lucas.
I didn't do that.
I don't have to say hello to you.
What?
What do I have? Who are you to me? I don't have to fucking say hello to you in the morning.
I didn't say you have to say
Yeah,
hello.
well, I
see you out there, and I say good morning.
And I said, yeah.
And a
well,
normal
I said, yeah,
person
how are
can
you?
just say good morning like everybody
I
else
didn't
out
grunt.
there.
Fucking open your ears.
You did grunt.
I said, yeah.
You said,
how are
you were down tweeting.
I don't
You go,
have to fucking talk to you. Who the fuck are you? Put your goddamn jacket on.
You don't have to talk to me. You're
Put your
right.
jacket on.
Were you really bummed out on the wrap-up show, or were you just
dude,
putting
you know what? Give me a fucking break with you and being
What am
all
I
over my
doing?
case, you know?
First of all, let me
bringing
explain
these
something.
fucking douchebags in here to fucking rip my asshole apart.
Do you think,
You know
first
what?
of all-
I don't really care anymore. You do what you want.
But can I say something, though, in my defense?
Be my guest.
Okay. Gary said to me with the Ugly app, there's a guy who developed an Ugly app.
please.
But
Here
I'm
we
going
go
to
with
take
that
you through,
now.
No, but I'm going to take you through the history because I don't believe the extent of your paranoia.
You got a
problem.
I spoke
you
to
got a
real.
problem.
I spoke to real police yesterday. Real guys that heard this bullshit.
Yeah.
This guy, they hear guys like this every day of the week in the police academy, and they know nothing.
Okay,
They're
all right.
fucking book smart. That's all they are. They never spent a day on the fucking street. They don't know about security working with people.
Okay.
Fuck him.
Okay.
Okay?
Fair enough.
And fuck Wolfie, too, because half of that shit that was in that thing was written by him. He knows all. They all
Gary,
know
did
about
Wolfie
the show.
write any of
okay?
that you know of?
I'm telling you, Wolfie sent me an email this morning. And
Fuck Wolfie. I don't want to hear about Wolfie.
But hold on, Ronnie, he said to me,
Fuck him.
He said if
he's a smirking face piece of shit. Okay? Fuck him.
Can Gary get out a sentence?
No.
Oh.
Wolfie just said,
fuck Wolfie.
No, go ahead. What did Wolfie say? I'm curious.
He said, I swear to you,
Oh, yeah.
I met this
Everybody
guy,
swears.
and he did a profile. He goes, I would, in no
Profile.
way, shape, or form did I write what this guy, the profiler, had to say.
Look,
and he
I
also
don't
said,
believe-
Club
I don't
foot,
bel-
him
I
and his
don't-
club foot shoes and shit.
He what about a club
him
foot?
is with
I
his
have no idea what he's
fucking
talking
club foot
Club
shoes he
foot.
wears.
What are you talking about?
That fucking guy was in here. He's a fucking douchebag.
But I mean, listen.
The profiler? Is that who you're talking about?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The profiler.
But listen.
The guy who listened to the show since 1985. That's how he knows about everybody here.
Yeah,
fucking asshole.
But I mean,
I could write the same profile.
But Ronnie, here's my point about you.
What are you looking at?
Well, you're exploding. You're about to explode out of your suit.
Ron, try to follow me on this, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But the guy said really weird things about me too. But I listened, and I didn't explode.
I'm happy for you, man.
I mean, it's true. I wear condoms, and he's saying that I have an intimacy issue with my wife. That's pretty insulting.
But you've talked about that on the air,
and so have you.
That's what I mean.
You've talked about security a million times.
So how does this? No, I don't. No, I don't.
But everyone knows you're the security guy.
What my fucking credentials are or anything else. You don't do that kind of shit.
But you get so angry.
You keep your mouth shut.
You're the only one who gets angry.
I'm going to stand here with my hand on my heart now. What the fuck is that?
I don't know. You get so angry, though. So say to the guy, hey, I don't believe that.
Fuck him. I don't have to come in and fucking patronize him. Fuck him.
And I heard the wrap-up show. Do you really think that I orchestrated the ugly app so that you would get a 0.0?
I didn't say anything about the ugly app.
You said it on the app, on the wrap-up show.
You said on the wrap-up show that you thought that, not that Howard orchestrated, but that it was orchestrated against you.
I said that a long time ago.
So
I didn't have to say it on the wrap-up show.
So you think every bit is orchestrated about you?
No, I said it back then, dude.
He thinks every bit is orchestrated.
Ronnie believes that every bit.
Yeah, because you know it fucking riles my ass up.
I had no idea that you'd get a 0.0.
Whatever, dude. I don't care.
How could anybody predict
You know what?
that?
I'm going out in the hall. I'm doing my thing.
Yeah, because you can't handle it.
Yeah, right. I can't handle it.
Howard, can I make
a crazy?
No,
can I make
because
a small
these guys
point?
are full of shit.
Somebody tweeted last night that yellow book, Security for Dummies, and Ronnie
I retweeted it.
Ronnie
Man, that's my
retweeted
fucking
it.
handbook.
He said, "This is my handbook. It's
That's
one of those
right.
yellow
And you know
Security
what?
for Dummies book." Can I
It was
finish?
securities. It was for fucking.
What are you getting so close to me
It was for
for?
the fucking stock market. It wasn't even real securities.
Oh, securities.
Yeah,
securities,
exactly,
not
stupid.
security.
Read
Hey,
the fucking,
I was getting
read the
to
cover
that,
of the
but you
book
started
right.
to attack me.
Fuck you. I didn't attack you. Put your jacket on. What are you doing without a jacket?
This was an impromptu visit in the
Don't come in here
studio.
without a jacket.
I wasn't planning on coming in.
Well,
Can I-
don't
Howard,
come
can I
in
just
without
make
a
one small
jacket,
point?
you know?
Yeah, sure.
You look
Okay.
like a bum.
Ronnie on the wrap-up show yesterday said that they singled him out. I said, well, why would Wolfie single you out? He said, because it's good radio. And I made the point that they profiled Fred and wouldn't
He's afraid of Fred.
Wouldn't making fun of Fred
might kill
be
him.
good radio as well, but they didn't.
Your security training has taught you that, Ronnie.
They're afraid of Fred.
And then he's got an explanation.
Well, I mean, you had a meltdown on the wrap-up show. I had no
I
idea.
didn't have a meltdown.
You sounded like Lucas.
I didn't have any fucking meltdown.
You scared Lucas.
No, I didn't scare Lucas.
You scared small
I
children.
wasn't even yelling.
Something's
dude.
going on because the past week you've been. Yesterday I
Don't
asked you
worry
about
about
your
me.
new. I asked you about your new car and you jumped down my throat.
Oh, it's not your business.
He has some kind of new pace car,
It's
all
not your-
all painted
What?
up.
It's not
that
your
my
fucking
sources
business.
told me.
My sources told me.
And
I know who your fucking source is. There's one source here that knows about it.
Who?
So I know who your source is.
Who is the source?
I'm not revealing
You
it.
don't, because I have multiple sources
Yeah,
on this.
multiple
one.
sources.
So talk about your painted up pace car.
None of your fucking business.
What do you mean a pace
It's none
car?
of your fucking business.
Ronnie, what is a pace car? You mean like
None
at
of
a
your
track?
fucking business, dude.
You're talking about a pace car that keeps at the track? You have a
That
pace
starts the
car?
race?
Don't worry about what I have.
Wow.
I'm not talking
What do
about
you
it.
know about
We
this?
break news. This is what I'm telling you,
What
Howard.
is it? You don't even know what it is. You fucking come to me yesterday and try and pull it out of me, and I won't tell you shit.
Because I'm not going to
It's
give
none
up
of
my
your fucking
source. I'm not going to
business.
give up everything
Fuck
I
the
know.
source.
That you
Fuck
have
him.
some crazy
Fuck your
colors
source.
painted up.
Yeah, crazy. No.
Pace car
Yeah, I had
in your
it painted
garage.
like that, right? You stupid ass motherfucker.
Well, then explain what it is. Why are you
I'm not explaining anything to you, man. I don't have to.
Are you now an owner of a pace car?
Don't worry what I am.
What do you mean? I'm asking you as
I'm
a
not
friend.
telling you. I'll tell you off the air. I don't have to tell you anything on the air anymore.
Wow.
Wow,
And then you threatened me yesterday with the block party. Oh, you want to be part of the show? Or you want your block party?
Is that
Then
a
you better-
threat?
Then you better talk.
Is that a threat?
Yeah. 'cause
No, I never
you're
said that.
basically
Did I
telling
say
me
that, Gary?
If I'm not part of the if I don't...
No, I never
if I'm not
told you.
oh,
Again,
yes, you
you're
did.
paranoid.
Yeah, I'm
I said to
paranoid.
you, like you tell Lisa G, you want to be part of the show, and then sometimes you don't want to be part of the
I'm
show.
part of the show
Either
all
you're
the time.
in or
Don't
you're
fucking
out.
tell me that,
But
man.
you can't talk
I've
to
taken
you.
more shit around
No
this
one can
fucking
talk to
place.
you anymore.
Between me and Gary, we took more shit in this place than anybody else.
Oh, Gary takes
Gary's
more
not
shit.
on your side.
I don't care if Gary's on my side.
I asked Gary about his disgusting toe.
I'm making a statement.
I asked Gary about his disgusting toe. He doesn't freak out.
I'm not freaking out. I don't have to tell my fucking personal business.
You're freaking out.
I'm not freaking out.
Someone asked you about your car and you're freaking out?
Because he's an idiot. What is it? Why is there
why the personal attacks?
Why is there a story in that?
So you're calling me an idiot?
Because I bought a fucking car. Why is there a story in that?
So you're calling me an idiot? I asked you about it too.
What?
I asked you too. What's a pace car?
I don't want to talk.
So I'm an idiot too then, I guess. You're calling me an idiot.
Whatever.
Thanks. Nice. Called me an idiot.
Yeah, I mean, these personal attacks are really unwarranted.
The things you fucking called me over the past fucking 2 years.
I haven't said anything.
Oh, please. You put me down like I'm a fucking piece of shit on the street.
Yesterday I didn't put you down for a minute.
You always put me down, man. You love it.
When
you love doing it.
Name something where I put you down. You just called me an idiot, so what do you...
Whatever, dude.
Because you don't have an example.
I have plenty of examples.
I've only treated you nicely.
I have plenty of examples.
No, you don't. Name one.
I have plenty of examples.
Give me an example.
You're always fucking making fun with the security thing.
I didn't say anything.
Always.
The guy
man.
profiled
you.
You
Put me down constantly.
The guy profiled you.
My security guy is fucking half the size of me.
I never made a height joke.
How do I have a fucking guy like that with me?
Did I make the height jokes?
Dude, I've heard it a million times.
I don't know.
I don't make the height jokes.
I mean, everybody else does.
I've heard it a million times from you.
Everyone around here does. You don't hear it from me.
Yeah, okay.
I'm paying you and hiring you, and you're saying I'm putting you down.
And you're making fun of me, too, all at the same time.
No, I'm not.
It makes no sense,
I
but
never made height jokes.
That's why I'm here.
Go find one. Go find a height joke.
I found him.
Ever since we had the roast.
I can't believe he's this sensitive.
I'm very sensitive,
You should have heard him on the
Robin.
wrap-up show. You sound like a crazy man.
Yeah, I'm a lunatic.
You sound like a lunatic.
A crazy
guy asked you
man.
about the car.
No, fuck him. I don't have to fucking answer him. What the hell is
Do you hate everyone here who asks you questions?
No.
It's not like I asked you some incriminating question.
Here, let me show you how he does it. Let me have this.
That doesn't work.
He walked. I don't. No.
Oh, okay,
I just want to a little demonstration.
Ronnie's holding a microphone.
Okay.
He wants a.
This is radio.
He walks up to you and he sticks this in your fucking mouth like this. He
Go
goes,
ahead. Well, that's
what's this I hear about this new car you got?
Right. So what'd you say?
Mind your business. It's none of your business.
No, actually, you said something much more profane than that.
Like what?
Get the fuck out of my face. I don't have to tell you about my car.
Yeah, exactly.
Why can't you just say?
Do I ask you about your car?
Ronnie, why can't you just say I don't feel like talking about it?
I do. That doesn't work with him.
You just say, excuse me, I don't want to talk about it.
Doesn't work with him.
No, I stay on it
and
because
he stays on it with that thing. He sticks it in your mouth.
If
like
it's an issue,
like it's somebody's cock.
If it's an issue that people back there are talking about, I heard you, moron. If this is an issue that people back there are talking about, then I am entitled to ask him about it.
He's the newsman. He's got to ask.
It's not news.
But it is true.
Why,
You got a pace car?
People back there are talking about
I'm not
this.
Embarrassed.
Why won't you talk about your pace car?
I ain't fucking embarrassed.
Why won't you talk about your pace car?
It's a great fucking car. It's a
So
collector's
tell
item,
us about
okay?
it.
No, I don't want to tell you about it. Because it's the way you handle it. When you walk up to somebody and say, hey, listen, hey, Ronnie, you know, I just heard something about from somebody that you got this really cool car. No, instead you walk up and shove this cock in my mouth and go...
Cock?
When did it become a cock?
He loves...
Do you think it looks like a cock to you? And you think
That's right, and he's tempting me with his cock.
That's his cock.
So you want me to get another microphone that isn't a phallic symbol? Is that what you're saying?
I talk to Lisa all the time. She doesn't walk around with that thing. But you stick it in everybody's
Well, that's because you have ulterior motives.
So
with
what
Lisa.
is this? You bought a pace car. Do you go to the track with it?
No.
What, you drive it around town?
It's a car.
It's a regular car, but what does it have? Stickers all over it?
It doesn't have stickers all over it.
What does it say on it? How does one distinguish that it's a pace car?
Because it says it.
It says pace car.
Indianapolis 500 pace car.
Now, this is a car that you drive around in every day?
No, when I feel like taking it out.
Is this in addition to your other cars? Or
Yeah.
It is?
Yeah. It's a collector's item. It has collector's insurance on it, everything.
Now, what's so
It's not like
special about a pace car in the sense that it's...
They only made 500 of them in that year.
And why do you like this so much?
Because I like cars, okay?
Do you feel that people...
You like your things,
Yeah.
I like cars.
Do people
that
feel...
bothered you too, I know that.
No, I'm asking... I didn't do anything.
You were doing so good, Ronnie, up until that.
Do you feel people will think you're...
I feel shit coming on.
No,
You know,
I'm asking you...
I'm paranoid,
But
remember?
let it come on. Don't just anticipate it.
Do you feel people will think you're in the race car business if
No,
you drive
I don't
a
know.
pace
I don't
car?
care what they think.
But doesn't it appear that you're in the race car business?
No, absolutely not.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's the only question I had.
Good.
Do you wear a jumpsuit?
Yeah, I wear a jumpsuit. Yeah, I wear a jumpsuit, a crash helmet, racing gloves.
with the microphone.
I don't
so
know
I'm in
anything
contact
about
with my pit crew.
I don't know. Is this common that people drive around in pace cars?
No,
Yeah, they make 500 of them. It's a collector's item. People like to buy them because they're really into the.
I'm like Jay Leno. I collect cars.
It's a replica of the car that was actually used maybe that year.
Oh, it's a replica.
Yeah, it's not. It wasn't actually used at the Indianapolis 500. They made 500 of them.
I see, and it's a special thing to walk around with.
It's a special edition car, right?
And it says Pace car on it.
Yes.
And then people will look at you.
It draws a lot of attention when you're driving it down the street.
That bothers you too. Your hair draws a lot of attention too. You know that, right?
Your hair?
Yeah, his hair. He's got this whole thing going on. He won't admit he dyes his hair.
Do you
everybody knows it, but okay.
Ronnie, he's just trying to push my buttons.
No, do you dye your hair?
Let me tell I unequivocally do not. I unequivocally do not dye my hair.
My fucking buttons, Mr. M26.
And
look how defensive he gets.
Look how gray it is on the side.
There's no gray. Your fucking eyes are popping out of your fucking head.
Look how gray it is on the sides. Okay, if I
you leave
dyed
a little
it,
bit. That's the whole idea.
You are not going to rile me up, Ronnie.
Look at my mustache. Look at all the gray I leave in it.
You're scaring me with your laugh and the fact you're so close. Listen to me. If I use the product that you claim I use...
You don't like that I'm close? How about when you stick that black thing in my mouth, huh?
Excuse me? If I used hair color, it would be a much better color.
No.
It is gray on the sides.
No, you try to make it more natural looking, but, you're not doing a good job.
I swear,
you're not doing
on my child, I don't dye my hair.
Well, there you go.
So there you go, Ronald. Are we done?
No. You always attack. You came in here.
How is it attacking
I was
you?
out there minding my fucking
Ronnie,
business.
how is it attacking
Oh, wait,
you?
here's Wolfie. Let's find out.
I'm not talking to him.
Hey, Wolfie,
No,
how you
I'm
doing?
leaving for this part.
What is it, Wolfie?
Sorry.
Here he goes
Sorry.
Oh,
Yes.
you're such a baby.
Yeah,
Just
I'm a
listen
baby.
to Wolfie.
Yes, I am.
So what do you have to
'Cause I
say?
don't
Maybe he
wanna
wants to
talk to an idiot.
apologize to
No,
you.
not him. He's a smirk, fucking
smug.
Yeah, smirky, smug bastard.
Eccentric to think that I spend any of my time.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Because
Wolfie's point is, no
Wolfie,
one's...
you want to be so part of this show, Wolfie. I know you would do anything to get your airtime. That's why you brought the fucking guy in here yesterday.
Why did you listen to Wolfie?
I don't
want
to listen to him. I'm going to talk right over him.
Why?
I really don't give a shit about
down.
Wolfie. I give no shit about Wolfie. When we do our block party shows, he covers it in Pennsylvania. He'll only turn in interviews that talk bad about me. That's fuck you, Wolfie. Wolfie, go and fuck yourself, man. I don't give a shit what you say. I don't care what you say, Wolfie. I really don't care.
Did you write what the profiler said?
He doesn't have to. Everybody knows what he fucking said.
Wait a second.
It's airtime. It's been talked about on the air.
Can I ask him a question?
No.
I can't ask him a question.
No, it's a fucking waste of time, man.
Well,
everything that guy said yesterday, okay? Everybody's talked about on the air. Right from KC being whatever he was.
You don't think he was right about Casey?
That's what I mean. Everybody knew that.
Right. He wasn't saying anything.
And we talked about it on the air.
Crazy.
You are a paranoid baby,
Yeah, well, you said that yesterday too, Wolfie, okay? You just want to be here so bad, I understand it now. I understand it, Wolfie. Wolfie, it's fine. I'm glad you got in here yesterday. I'm very happy for you.
Wolfie.
But you know what? You're not here every day, and I know you're going to cry about that. So
Wolfie.
It's fine.
I don't need to be there.
Oh, you do need to be here. You need to be here in the worst way because I know you beg for a job here. I know you beg for a job. You beg for a job here, Wolfie. You beg for it.
Ronnie,
you beg for it, dude.
He won't let Wolfie talk.
No.
What is that? Is that your thing? You
I filibuster.
You talk over everyone? Is that your thing?
What? So it's okay for him to fucking walk all over me.
Well,
I am insecure.
Well, let's hear what he's got to say.
I don't want to hear what he's got to say. I don't care. That's the whole thing.
I care.
Well, good. Then you can listen to it. I don't have to listen to it. Why do I have to stand in and listen to something I don't want to listen to? Why? Why do I have to listen to it?
I don't have an answer for that.
I could be in my pace car.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Wolfie. All right. I can't hear what you're saying anyway. So
have a good day, Wolfie, and you'll keep trying to get a job here.
Marianne from Brooklyn, you're on the air.
Hi, Howard. This is the best ever. Ronnie, you know I love you. Howard, you stand up
He's 60-something years old. He watches you back at AGT. I'm watching him from the box.
I don't have a problem with him. He can't communicate with anyone. A guy comes in here.
Fine.
Ronnie can't handle talking to anybody. I never saw anything like it.
It's old school. He was born he's more like my age, and he feels very defensive, and I think everyone's sort of picking on him.
Maybe you're right, Joe. Go ahead. You're on the air.
Ronnie, you are such a baby.
Yes, I am. Of course.
Ronnie, here's my point.
Go ahead.
Man, you bust balls around there nonstop. Somebody.
Wait a minute. I bust balls around here?
Yeah.
How do I bust balls around here?
You're constantly joking with people and playing around.
There you go. Yeah. Joking. There you go.
No,
joking.
You walk up to people, you tell them to fuck off, and you say you're joking. But the people don't know you're joking.
Oh, they don't. Please. They know me long enough.
You bust balls.
Yeah, okay. Everybody busts balls around here.
Well,
everybody.
So you should take it a little bit. And I don't think that guy yesterday was busting your balls.
I take it from the people around here. I don't have to take it from outside people, dude. I take it from you. I take it from everybody here. Nobody gets their balls
Is this a case that you can you can dish it out, but you can't take it?
No, that's bullshit. I take it. You can't tell me I don't take it.
All right, let's go to Clayton.
That's horseshit.
Clayton, what do you have to say?
You don't take it gracefully.
No, maybe I don't, but I take it.
You got to calm down. You're going to have a fucking heart attack.
Yeah, no,
Clayton,
I'm going to blow another eyeball.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, well, now I see why your eyeballs are blowing out of your head. Clayton, go ahead.
Hey, Ronnie, you got the 82 Vet or you got the Buick Grand National?
Neither one, dude.
It's the Camaro.
Come on now.
Neither one. I'm serious.
It looks like a Corvette to me, the one I just saw.
Well, that one he says he doesn't
I'm saying it's a Corvette, but it's not 82.
Oh,
Ronnie,
it's a Corvette.
I'm sticking up for you. It's a
and it's
very
not,
sharp car.
By the way,
it's
it's
very sharp.
It's not 82 pace car. It's a 78 pace car.
Wow.
Okay, man.
That's no, not mine. But I'm just saying the pace car he's talking about is not an 82. It's a 78. Silver and black two-tone.
Ronnie, are you upset with the source for telling John Lieberman about your car?
You know what? It's part of the deal around here. I know who it is. I definitely know who it is.
Who is it?
I'm not saying.
Who do you think it is?
I definitely know who it is.
I'm wondering. Is it Richie?
I'm not saying anything. I just said I definitely know who it is.
Richie Wilson.
I didn't say anything.
I'm asking you, who's the source? So you don't know. Because you would identify.
Okay, I don't know. Okay. I don't.
It was not me.
Was not Richie?
Did not say a word.
I didn't say it was Richie.
It was multiple sources anyway.
I didn't say it was Richie.
It was multiple sources anyway.
Who are you suspecting?
Good for you. I'm not.
Why are you not telling me that?
I don't care.
I care.
I don't care.
Who do you suspect?
I don't suspect anyone.
So maybe you don't really know.
I don't really know. You're right. I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. Don't know.
Wow. Boy, oh boy, you worked up.
Yeah, I'm worked up.
I mean, I've never seen you this worked up.
Yeah, well.
I mean, it's unbelievable. And when the things you said about me
it
were
fucking
terrible.
bothers me when a fucking retard comes in here with club feet and fucking tries to rip my fucking ass apart about the job I do. He knows nothing about the job I do and how I handle people, really handle people when we're in a situation. So he can go fuck himself.
Do you think...
He never handled a situation in his life.
Here's a note I just got. Ronnie talked about the pace car at his last party, and John Lieberman was there.
So
what party?
Who needed a source?
I don't know.
I actually don't remember hearing about it there.
Maybe I did talk about it that day. Whatever.
That's what I'm saying.
He's my source.
Let me see.
Let me see if that's the right picture, Gary.
Is that Ronnie's pace car?
Let me see it.
Is that your pace car?
Let me see it.
Pace car.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Nope.
Can you imagine him driving around in his pace car? How often do you do that? I'd like to see that.
When the sun shines.
Yeah, when it's a nice day, you take it out.
Come out in the rain or it'll never come out in the rain or the snow.
Do you drive it at high speeds?
No, absolutely not.
When do you? How fast can your pace car go? Must be able to go very quick.
It's a Corvette. It goes as fast as a Corvette goes.
What's the top speed it can go?
I have no idea. I never tried it.
Have you used it on any bridges and tunnels in the city?
What?
Have you driven it into any
tunnels?
tunnels?
Look at cameras?
Yeah.
No, I haven't. No, I haven't. Because I never even. It came from Kentucky and it came on a truck, so I've never brought it across a bridge yet. Okay?
Was it delivered to your home?
Why is that? Well, look at you. Your fucking eyes are popping out of your head. Why is that so interesting to you? Was it delivered to my home? No, somebody dropped it in the middle of the street somewhere and left it there, and they called me and said, "Oh, your car is in the middle of the street. Go get it." What is wrong with you?
I'm a reporter. I do details.
Howard 100 News.
Well, then why don't you work on your details?
He does.
Because obviously,
Ron,
you're not working on your details.
He does Howard 100
But he's not
News.
working on his details.
He is. He's asking you.
If he had a story, he should have came in here with all the details, pictures,
Well, he's asking
everything.
you.
He's not a fucking reporter.
Well, he's not going to go to your home and spy.
Steve Langford back. He got fired from his job.
You're telling
he
him
needs a job. Bring him back, will you please?
Now you're trying to get me fired.
Go pack your fucking bags.
Now you're trying to get me fired.
I told you that. I told you that. I'm going to get your bags packed.
I don't think it's your place to even suggest to fire me. You're not my boss.
That's right.
Look how upset you are. You look like you're going to cry.
What?
Look at you. Look at you. You're all upset. You can't take
because
it.
I don't want my reporting question. I don't want my reporting question.
Oh my God! I don't.
Did I not have a story?
No, you have no story.
It is a story.
You don't
have a pace car.
You have no details. You don't even know what fucking color it is.
Why do I need to know what color it is?
You don't want him spying on you.
Because you're going around there. Is it orange? Is it pink?
These are called questions. Reporters ask questions, Ronnie.
Yeah.
He doesn't know all the answers. He has a source,
Before he comes in and makes a statement, he should have the details.
What?
He's a reporter.
He's asking you. You're the guy who runs the car.
I'm telling him shit.
Look, I'm not going to break down the fundamentals of how to be a reporter for you, okay?
If I won't tell him the details, isn't it his job?
All right.
Wait.
This is crazy.
Isn't it his
This is
job?
crazy. This is
Isn't it
crazy.
his job to go out? If I won't give him the details,
Ronnie,
a report.
He's not going to go spy on you.
Dude.
It's not. He's
Well,
not
now
that
I
kind of
might.
thing. He just asked you a couple of questions. You're getting so fucking defensive.
Let me guess. You want a portion of the guy's book proceeds from yesterday, right? Just like you wanted some of the ugly app guys.
I don't want
proceeds.
anything from him. Believe me.
Listen,
At the last thing I want is something from him. Go
I
put
have to
your
go
jacket
back
on.
to work and work.
Put your jacket on. Go find out what color my car is. Go ahead.
Oh my God.
Go ahead. Do some work.
You really want me?
Do some work. Go ahead.
Sounds like a challenge.
Guess you'll have to break into my garage then, and then you'll go to jail.
There are other ways.
You'll go to jail.
There are other ways.
You'll go to jail.
He's going to sit out and watch and with a camera and photograph you. You don't want that.
I got people everywhere.
He's going to stake you
got
out.
people nowhere.
Brian, go ahead.
People everywhere.
Oh, listen, will Lisa G please fuck Ronnie?
By the way,
I'm pent up.
I would love to have that all go down too, because that would be great. All right, thank you, Brian. Listen, Ronnie, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
Thank
Enjoy
you,
your
John
day.
Lieberman.
Have a nice one.
I still say John's a great reporter. I'm sorry, Ronnie.
That's good. I'm glad.
All right.
I'm happy for you.
Wow, that was some interview.
He's amazing.
Oh my God. Oh yeah. Anyway, I was trying to tell you about Gary's toe fungus, but I do have to.
That got gobbled up in the Ronnie man.
Sure did. What is it, Carl?
Hey, Howard. Ronnie's a bitch, man. Who flies off the handle like that as a security professional? Think you got off-duty cops with you. He would get rolled up in a heartbeat. He'd get that handlebar mustache punched right off that fucking face if something really happened, man. Thank God you got real cops with you.
All right, listen, Carl. Thank you.
Thank you.
He'll come running back in here screaming.
What is it, Gary?
That's the car.
Oh, that's Ronnie's car?
It's got more than a decal on it.
Oh, my God. It's a whole
those
thing.
cars are really painted up.
Official pace car, and then it's got Corvette written across the glass.
Because I forget what
Everything
kind of
but
car it
Ronnie's
is.
name is on the car.
Yeah. Fred, you are into cars. Do you understand this at all?
I don't get the whole Indy car thing at all.
Right.
I mean, I think it kind of looks retarded.
You think it's silly for a guy that age to be driving around?
And he's got that in his garage now.
I don't know. It's kind of like, it's like an adult version of like a Power Ranger or something.
What does a thing like that cost? Is that an expensive?
It's funny.
Piece of change.
It is because
they probably get you when it comes out. I don't know the collectability on those cars, to be perfectly frank with you, but some of them don't necessarily go for any more than a regular.
I think there's collectability because it's 1 of 500. So if you can find someone who's interested in it, then they probably
Right, it has to be the same kind of.
But the only thing I think that makes it
interest
distinctive
that Ronnie has.
are the decals.
Yeah, but I wouldn't want to drive around with stuff written all over my car.
But I don't even want to have like a vanity plate.
Right. But
and
he
the
likes
whole
that.
thing is when you drive around in a car like that, everybody's looking at it, wondering what it is.
Well, also, you're driving around and people are assuming you're something tied in with the race car community,
Well,
right?
sometimes you don't even, because I always see, guys with race cars on a flatbed as they're coming to and from races, and everybody on the road is looking at the car.
Right.
Well, Ronnie will be driving this thing, so everybody will be looking at Ronnie. That's
and
what
won't
he
they
wants.
assume he's a race car driver of some kind?
Well, when you look at him,
I'm racing in the HOV
You're sure
lane.
that's not the case.
Right. No, but I mean, it's sort of like if I...
It assumes involvement.
It's like if I wore a David Letterman jacket, you would think that I worked on the David Letterman show, right?
Right. But
and then like people would walk up and go, "Oh, what do you do on the David Letterman show?" I go, "I don't do that. I like the jacket."
That's a perfect example because you could buy those in the gift shop next to Letterman.
Right.
Right, but I don't think Tony Stewart is driving around in a pace car.
That's what I mean. Probably like that would be like me driving around in I don't know.
A milk truck.
Yeah, I mean...
yeah. Are you
right.
a milkman?
You're a milkman, aren't you?
I just worship milkmen.
Your information.
Yeah.
I am like a brony with a Corvette.
Is that the car?
For your information, okay?
Is this the car?
Tony Stewart owns a bunch of cars like that.
He does?
He collects
He doesn't
them.
drive around in them.
Yes, he does.
But he's a race driver.
But he
Yeah, but this-
belongs in one of those.
Yeah.
That's what he does for a living.
He
What do
tells
you-
you
but-
that, Ronnie.
What are you talking about?
In other
This is-
words, let's say I like the milkman industry, and I drove around in a milk truck.
Why is this such a...
Or one of those ice cream
You know
trucks.
what?
I love the ice cream.
Why do you
Ron,
buy
why-
every new phone
Do you
that
sell
comes out?
Mr.
Why do you
Softy?
buy
I
every
buy a new
fucking
phone because I want to be up on the
this is
latest
something-
technology.
this
And
is
it also
something you
works.
like,
Yeah.
okay? This is something I like. And that bothers you too. See, I don't get that either.
No, I'm trying to understand
No, it
that.
bothers
It doesn't
you.
bother
because
me.
you're making fun. You're making fun of it.
I'm not. I'm asking.
You are. You're making fucking fun of it.
You assume
it
asking.
bothers you.
You assume asking a question.
You owned a Corvette for 3 days and you got rid of it because
didn't like
it's
it.
not your thing.
Right.
This is my thing. I like cars. I'm sorry it bothers you so much.
All right. Fair enough. Thank you, sir.
We
You
can't talk.
you can't have a conversation with him.
You can't because it's unfair, dude.
It's unfair to talk to you.
I could do this all
You
day.
attack my
I know,
character.
he's so
You attack my height. You attack my job, and now you attack my car. You've gone too far.
You know what it reminds me of? Imus wears cowboy outfits, but he's not a
Right.
cowboy.
Right.
But he likes it.
He walks
but it's-
around in that duster, and
Yeah.
you expect him to pull a 6-gun on you.
Yeah, you think it's like Clint Eastwood from a spaghetti western, and like Imus walks around in that
Cowboy hat.
get up, and you go, well, like if you didn't know who he was, you'd say, "Oh, sir, what ranch do you work on?" And
what rodeo do you ride?
Right,
for?
right.
Yeah. Are you a rodeo rider?
Are you with the rodeo? You would say, and he'd go, "No, what are you talking about? Don't say that to me."
I just walk around like this.
Right. And Ronnie walks around like a race car driver. All right, listen, I'd love
Sometimes I put on a dress and pretend to be Danica Patrick.
Ron.
Yeah.
Why react this way to stories? I mean, you're only perpetuating the story. You're only keeping
Scott's
it going.
trying to figure out my car. Forget it.
You figured it out, he says.
Yeah, what is it?
95.
Well, anything's possible.
Fair enough.
Ron.
Yeah.
Why keep a story moving like this?
Yeah,
If
now,
you-
see, Lieberman will run in there now because somebody else did the work for him.
I don't give out any.
Somebody else did the work for him now. He'll go in and say to Scott, could you print me out a picture of the 95 now? Good.
He came in
Good.
to me with it.
Yeah, but I'm saying Lieberman didn't do that. That's his job to do. Not somebody who works in the office back here.
Ronnie, why act so closely guarded about the story? Why not just own up to it, give your information, and move on? I mean, you know
Why
how
should
things, because you know how things work around here. You're making it.
Business.
You're making it worse.
It's not his fucking business.
You're making it worse,
I have
Ron.
people out here. Get the fuck out of here. I have a job to do.
John, why do you think this has set him off so much? I mean, what's going on with Ronnie?
Ronnie has been irked lately about a number of things. I think the psychological profile yesterday, whenever anybody pokes at his lifestyle or how he chooses to live his life, he goes off. And then whatever comes subsequent to that, he then goes off. So I happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time when I asked him about the car yesterday. And a reporter's job is to probe. We ask questions to find out the truth. So I knew, Ronnie confirmed that he got a pace car. I didn't know all the details, but I knew the way to get the details was to bring it up on the air with Howard. And look, now we have the details. We have the year, we have the make, so Ronnie is just angry. I mean, that's no breaking news.
All right, Robin, it's time to hear from John Hein. Johnny boy, come on in, pal, and tell us what's going to be on the wrap-up show. Wrap-up show has been on fire. Lest anyone think it's been not on fire, you're wrong, because yesterday's show with it is Ronnie Mund going at it. It was unbelievable yesterday.
Yeah.
What are you going to be talking about today?
You think that something is up with Teddy Microphone getting mugged and losing his iPhone.
It's just weird that he doesn't call the cops and get his phone back. Where is that fucking guy?
Yeah, he's here now.
He's here.
Explain that.
Teddy, come here, just real quick. I don't want to spend all morning on it, but I wouldn't mind an explanation. I started out at 6 o'clock in the morning with this. Teddy.
I did go. I went yesterday.
Oh, you went to the police, but why would you wait? I mean,
well, no. I couldn't go that night.
Is your drinking out of control?
No, what?
It's
average.
Do you and your wife get just fucking slammed?
Well, everybody gets pretty slammed in our circle.
How many drinks did you have?
I don't know, like umpteen.
Are you that umpteen? Are you that fucking bummed out about your life?
No, not at all. We're having fun. We were with a huge group of people. It was just like super fun. I mean, it's what
you can't have fun without getting completely fucked up.
Yes, of course.
Let me tell you something. I've cut my drinking back almost to the point. I don't drink almost.
I know.
I barely drink.
Well, I mean,
I might have one drink a week.
I know. I know.
Tell you, look at me. I'm having as much fun as I used to. Are you blacking out?
I was browned out, I'd say.
What does that mean?
That's a little less than
What's
blacked
going
out.
on with you?
I
You're a young guy. You're that
miserable? It was just a really fun time. I don't know. It was
you
a
think
party.
That's fun to black out?
Yeah, it's not fun to get on a subway afterwards, but
so you got
going
on the subway
wrong way and everything. It's just crazy.
I need to hear her.
You say a pack of hyenas. You say 7 guys.
It was it was like National Geographic.
They took your. What does that mean?
Like, the wounded wildebeest and like all the 8 hyenas are nipping at it. Like,
so you were drunk. You were on the C train.
Yeah.
And with your wife, and they surrounded you, and they took your iPhone from you.
Yeah, I mean, they were all nipping at me, and I was kind of fighting them off. And then one of them, as we were getting back on through the turnstile, one of them got his hand in, grabbed the phone, and he was
at some point,
gone.
you got to give up, because who knows what can happen.
But I did go to the police yesterday. I mean, I called them
but why
that
wait
night.
2 days?
No, 1 day.
One day.
I folled the advice of the 911 operator.
He's got an iPad, and on the iPad, it tracks where your iPhone is. He knows the exact location. The cop said to him, just you have to file a report, and we'll go get your phone.
And you got to jump through their hoops. I mean, they don't. It's not like
hoops.
I mean, it's not like they
got to
just go kick down the door.
Well, of course, because they got to make sure that you really own the iPhone.
Yeah,
They can't just you call them up. They just can't go get it.
But
for
it's
you.
also a little minutia involved because it was at a train station, so now it falls under the Transit Bureau, and then it's this, and then this, and this. And I went to my local precinct, which is up here.
All right. Do you have your iPhone back?
No.
What, you have an iPad. It tells you exactly where it is.
It's still sitting in the same spot where it was.
Where are the police on this?
They are now investigating, but
investigating.
Yeah,
you mean
detectives have been assigned and everything. Yeah,
and you gave them the location.
Yeah, and they need to, in fact, come and collect my Metro card to double check where I was when I swiped it and all that other stuff. They're
By
really
that time,
going deep.
the phone's going to be gone.
As soon as the battery dies on the phone, you can't track it anymore.
Oh, for Christ's sake!
Well, I got lucky.
Look, Teddy wasted several days.
He did, but I mean,
1 day, Rob. 1 day. It was yesterday afternoon.
And the reason you didn't go to the cops right away because
I called
911.
It was like 10 o'clock at night, and it was Sunday night, and I just wanted it. Yeah, I was just like, I have to get up.
You were wasted.
The guy's like, the 911 operator was very nice, but they said, "Oh, we'll have to send a car over to your house," and I figured it would take hours.
All right, well, keep us posted.
Look, I'm fine. It was like, we're very lucky.
No, I know
blessed,
you're fine.
I mean,
but you should have your phone back.
I'm a little sore here, but that's all right.
What, they punched you in the head?
I don't know. I don't know what happened. I don't know.
Well, of course not. You were so wasted, you blacked out.
Yeah. Well,
listen to me, my friend.
That concerns me more than the phone.
Listen to me.
That you put yourself in danger. I love these people who decide that they can go and be out of their minds and nothing's going to happen to them in a big city.
Now Robin's upset with you.
I'm sorry, Robin.
That's right. You're probably sore from falling down when you were drunk.
Yeah, he probably hit his own head.
I know. That's why I didn't bring that up.
Didn't you recently bash Benji on the wrap-up show?
No.
Yeah.
No.
I heard it.
What?
Benji, you and Teddy having a hard time?
No.
I've always liked him. I just thought he was real Weasley about it because he bashes me on air and then he comes up and
I bash him off air and then I can't come up on air.
No, but then you come up to me off air and you said, "Hey, I just made that up because I want to get on air." So
I didn't say that. I just said that's my. I'm like I have to. I have nothing to say here right now. That's my angle.
Well, you said you didn't really
No,
feel
but
that
like
way.
little things like the shoes, like when you brought up his shoes
wearing
today,
high
like
heels,
these little fucking things that just drive me crazy. Last year
He
with
wants to be taller than his
the
girlfriend.
wig, with the whole Rock of Ages Benji thing, seriously.
He tries to draw a lot of
eyeliner, but then again, I zoomed out and I stepped out and I said, wait a minute, I've only been here 6 years. There was the Benji who came in African garb. There was the Benji who did this. So maybe that's his thing. And I said, it's not my place to. And then I felt bad that I was just in a grumpy mood, and it was, I don't know, pre-wedding stress.
You've also been critical of John. You've also been critical of John Hine. You feel he's too straight-laced for the show.
John Hine?
Yes,
No.
John Hine. Isn't that true?
No.
Yes, it is.
No, not at all. Straight-laced.
Too straight-laced. In other words, he should be a little looser.
He's a straight guy, but no. I mean, I'm not. I don't think he should
All
be
right.
looser.
You're not critical of him?
No. The one thing I did say was when he got the fast food truck, I was like, the guy doesn't eat any condiments, but
Okay. All right,
that was
Teddy.
everybody's criticism.
Keep me posted on that phone.
Yes, if
and
I get the phone back, I'll let you know. But otherwise,
Well,
the new one's coming out in 6 weeks, so I'm eligible for an
So
upgrade.
maybe you don't even need it.
That's
Exactly.
right. Yeah, let those guys have
yeah,
it.
they can have it.
All right, thank you.
Later.
concerned about his drinking. Can you think you could stop drinking for 6 months?
No.
You can't. So you're an alcoholic.
No. What?
Are you an alcoholic?
No, but...
That means you are.
What do you mean 6 months? Why would I want to?
Stop for 6 months because...
What's in it for me?
Health, to show that you're not addicted?
Not good enough. Maybe, I don't know, I'm going to miss out on a lot of fun.
Can you stop for a month? Do you think
I could.
You
sure.
could? Do it.
But I won't.
Show me.
I can't.
You're an alcoholic.
You got to raise the stakes.
You're an alcoholic.
What do you mean?
I mean you're an alcoholic.
No.
You can't quit for a month.
I can. I can do anything I want. I can do anything I put my mind to.
Quit for a month.
No.
Why?
Because.
Because why?
Because I'm having fun.
Having fun.
Yeah.
Do you have any other kind of fun?
Life without booze is not fun.
Exactly. I'm not going to lose my arm. And
Let's go, baby.
All right. Okay, you might have a problem.
Well, we'll see. I'll cross that bridge when I get to it.
All right.
I know. You've been right about a lot of things.
Right about everything.
I know
I'm
you're right,
America's
I know.
judge.
I know.
All right. Thanks,
Goodbye.
Teddy. Right. Right, Robin?
Right.
Right. See, even Robin agrees.
Teddy, microphone. Sir.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously a tumultuous Sunday for you.
Yeah, no big deal. I mean, I think I had it coming. I got robbed of my iPhone, and I did go to the police yesterday and filled out a report and, started the whole minutia, really jumping through all the hoops.
Why do you say that? Why do you say that you think you had it coming?
Oh, man, I was an easy target. I was blacked out drunk on the subway and going the wrong way, and then I don't know. I mean, I probably just stuck out, and I'm sure look at this idiot, and whatever. I mean, it could have been a lot worse. They didn't get my wallet or my watch or her engagement ring or anything like that. So it's just a fun. The whole thing's actually rather embarrassing. So.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that it happened.
It's all right. I'm lucky. I consider we were both very lucky. None of us got hurt. None of us got robbed majorly. So.
And they can't rob you of your spirit.
That's right. They can't take what's in here. Later.
Hey, look who's on the phone. Dale Yeager. You know who he is?
Yeah, he's the guy who was here yesterday that Ronnie lost his mind
I don't
over.
want to talk to him.
Dale, what's up?
Hey, Howard. I'm sorry to bother you, but I heard earlier, I'm listening to the replay of the West Coast show.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear Ronnie making a statement which is absolutely ridiculous and asinine.
Which one is that?
Well, he makes a statement. He goes, well, I've talked to real police officers, and they say they know these guys. They're all book smart. They hear them at the academy. Howard, I've been operational in the field. I'm operational now. I work on cases. I'm in doing interrogations. I'm not a guy who's just some college professor that stands in a room and gives theories.
No, I tried to tell Ronnie that, but he won't listen to me.
Ronnie's screaming too loud to listen.
And you know what blows my mind is, of all the profiles I did, and I actually did one on Robin, but we didn't get to it, but of all the profiles I did, his was the shortest.
Right.
And he got the most upset.
Yeah, I still don't understand what he got so upset about.
I don't either, and that's another thing too. I wanted to clarify. I said that I believed, and again, it's not definitive. I believe that he, in his past, has done swinging because of all the stripper things. Well, swinging is when you have more than one sex partner at a time, 2 people or more.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he understood what the definition of that was. I just wanted to clarify that.
All right, Dale, fair enough.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you. That's Dale Yeager, who is a professional profiler who got into a huge fight with Ronnie yesterday.
Yeah, well, he's probably set Ronnie off again.
He might have. I don't know.
I don't know. It's very possible.
Ron.
Yeah.
Now that you've had some time to think about things,
Yes, we played that.
What?
have your feelings changed now that you've had some time?
No. Feelings changed about what? The guy's a fucking professor.
Well, he said he has done some field work. He has.
Yeah,
been out there.
he says he's still in the field giving lectures. That's not the field.
Seems like you're giving him a lot of power by not answering to him.
He has no power. I talk to real police officers. They know about guys like him. They laugh at him.
What else is in the news?
What do they do?
They laugh at him.
How do they do that?
Starbucks, Macy's, and other.
Stop turning the radio off.
I can't hear you. What did they do?
They laugh at guys like Dale Yeager.
And how do they do that? That's scary, man.
That's right.
I wouldn't come near Howard if you were
Yeah,
doing
it's like
that.
a fucking Creedmoor laugh. You know where Creedmoor is? Huh? You know where Creedmoor is?
I'd imagine it's about 2 feet in front of me right now.
You never heard of Creedmoor?
No, man.
You heard of Creedmoor.
I've heard of Creedmoor.
You heard of Creedmoor.
It's a mental institution.
Yeah, I know Creedmoor.
That's where Ronnie should be.
So I was right. It was a couple feet in front of me.
Yeah, that's where Ronnie should be. Locked up in it.
I'd feel, speaking of security, I'd feel a whole lot safer if this interview ended.
Good. End it. End it.